what's up, everybody? Right now, I'm gonna be a little bit serious. I want to send our thoughts and prayers for the guys in Ukraine, and I also in Ukraine war, and I also, yeah, I messed up because I'm not good at giving respect, so it's hard for me. But really, I want to give out my thoughts and prayers to the people out there in the Ukraine situation, and I hope that pretty soon those guys can get that situation nice and finish it peacefully. Really, I don't want it to keep on going with this war because war is not good. I hope that the situation can calmly find its place and end in a peaceful way. Another thing, guys, I also want to have a moment of silence for Zion. What's it? What was his last name? Zion.
Zayn Nadella,
Mhm.
Satya.
Then,
For those of you who
yeah,
didn't know, this week Satya Nadella's son passed away at the
yeah,
age of 26. So we just want to pay
yeah,
our respects as well. So
yeah.
if you give us a couple of seconds
Besides,
of
yeah.
moment of silence, cool, crazy.
All right. So, guys, let's start with the show. Let's get the show on the road. Let's start with hello, everybody. Good evening. Welcome to Xbox International. Man, we are in episode 8 already. Wow, this has been an amazing journey, you guys. It's been crazy. 8 episodes already in, having a lot of fun. So, guys, why don't we just start doing strip searches to our sexy stewardess right here? And let's start. Look at the face. I just love reaction faces. And let's start with our first sexy steward, who is my enemy, my biggest foe, although he's my brother, Mr. Joanna Dark. Introduce yourself, my dear brother.
You know you're not gonna get away with it, and I had this coming. Hey, Sour Blow, please
Oh,
start it, and I'm gonna start the timer here. This is
oh,
the
it's
first
on.
time out for you. Awesome. So, what's up, everyone? While we have Crazy Lou in timeout, I've been good. I've been pretty busy, and in that, I came late to the actual, of playing of Elden Ring. But like everyone else, I've been consumed by Elden Ring, playing in the lands in betweens, and just having a great time with a game. It's a fantastic game. I know we're going to talk about it later. In addition to that, I still need to finish Dying Light. I'm literally towards the end, and hopefully I'm gonna just go there and just finish that game off, and then just wait for the content that hopefully comes down the road. But Elden Ring's just like I said, that's been the game like everyone else. Cool.
Oh, all right.
Oh nope, you're still on timeout.
What? No, no, no.
Cool.
I got.
So anyway, so let me
Wait,
give
wait,
it to the next person here. Hey,
wait.
Silent Cipher. Hey, what's up, man?
Get,
How are you?
What's going on this evening? Uh, God, once again, another week. So happy to be with you guys on a Wednesday. So excited to actually get some games played last week. Between playing some Elden Ring, getting some more Fortnite in with my son, it's been good. You know, we even got my wife into playing some Fortnite for a second, which
Oh, nice.
I know she did very hesitantly, but she did. You know, she was a good sport. She jumped in. We had some fun with it. But yeah, Elden Ring. My goodness. I I was really, really afraid that we were going to catch a whiff on that one. It was going to end up getting bad scores, but it came out shining. And that game plays really good. I've really enjoyed it so far.
So you
And I
doubted
look forward
Miyazaki? Did you doubt Miyazaki?
I
Oh,
we'll put it this way, okay? I know we've gone over the fact that I'm a grouchy old man, but I always get a little nervous with video games anymore. I'm always nervous that we're gonna have something that's hyped really good and then comes out and just, bites it. So
like Starfield. I mean, that's
yeah,
right. Like Star Citizen.
Star Citizen. Yeah,
Star
yeah,
What?
Citizen. Excuse me.
yeah.
Why?
Star
Why you guys
Citizen.
mention? Why you guys mentioning Star Citizen? Why? Why you
Because
gotta? Why you guys gotta talk about that? That doesn't exist.
Star Citizen is the best alpha game.
Yeah, right.
So-
Mm-hmm.
the
The best
best
alpha
make believe game, the best make believe game that no one has ever played.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
Only
so
Sour Blow has.
Only Sour Blow has. He has
So
like a preview.
speaking of games that we're actually playing and that are real, Sour, what's up, bud? What you been playing?
Well, I did jump a little bit into Elden Ring. I have been playing a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
No, yeah, whatever. You're
However,
No,
kind
you
of.
haven't.
You left. No, you haven't.
no,
It's a
no,
contrast.
no. I
You
actually
left.
I actually played before the show, but
Yeah.
anyway, my this is
I'm
my
gonna go check
first.
your profile. I'm gonna check his profile.
You can go
Let
check
me log
whatever.
in.
There
My
will
first
be no achievements yet.
no achievement, yeah, definitely no achievement yet. Well, anyway, this is my first Soul game.
Howard.
So my the first time I was running through and I was playing, I didn't even do the tutorial or nothing, and I was actually complaining about this game doesn't even have a tutorial. I don't even know what's going on, but actually I just missed it. And now that I did went through the tutorial, at least it's a little bit better. It's still not very easy game, but I am enjoying it. I also started playing yesterday Contrash, which is the first compulsion game, and I like it. I passed the first act, and it has some nice mechanics where a small. I believe at that time that was an indie game, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
it was.
Yeah.
I think it came out originally on the PlayStation. It was one of the first indie games for the PlayStation.
Yeah.
Okay. It reminded me a little bit of if anyone watches had watched Naruto, Shikamaru, the guy with the shadows. You got a lot of shadow
the 1,000 years
mechanics.
of
Yeah,
death.
Yeah.
you got some shadow mechanics there. So I like what I see there so far, and the story is intriguing too, even though it's an indie game. Pretty cool.
Hmm.
But can we ask you, why did you walk away from Elden Ring? Why didn't you join us the other day?
Yes, people would like to know
No,
why you walked away
the
from
other
Elden
day
Ring.
I was tired, honestly, and what happened is I started a new schedule and I have to wake up super early in the morning, and
I do too. I wake
it's
up at 5.
pretty hard. Yeah, but you're different,
Yeah.
crazy. You got
I'm different.
I wake up at 5 too.
yeah.
Yeah,
It-
I wake up at 4:45, so I feel your pain. It's so
Yep,
Yeah.
it's painful. Yeah.
Silent Cypher, you're not supposed to be on his side.
Yes, you're supposed to be on his side. Never be on his side.
crazy. You have no kids. You haven't been married. You haven't gotten married yet,
what?
so you can't talk. So
I'm going to. pretty
you're
soon.
going to, but
Yeah,
you'll feel
I'm
the
going
pain.
to.
You'll feel the pain.
Tell me, like, hey, crazy, can you play? He's like, no, man, I don't have permission.
yeah. Once you pop out a few minions, you'll see. You'll see how it goes.
Crazy, be careful
up?
because my BFF is watching, most likely.
it?
So be careful what you say.
Wait,
This is
she?
crazy.
Oh yeah.
Oh, no, see,
Yeah.
I mean, today I was on the phone with her and I asked her, hey, what's going to happen after, am I going to keep playing? She said, yeah, you can. I was like, that doesn't
No.
convince me. She said, you should quit playing. I was like, quit playing? I was like, hell no, I ain't going to quit. You better tell me now because, pretty soon I'm going to sign that paper, so we're on time, She better let me keep playing.
Oh,
That's
we
the only way I
also
find peace.
We played State of Decay
What?
last Friday.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we did.
Yeah.
We
Oh,
have
we
fun.
had
I
a
got,
blast. Oh yes.
I got stuck in a poop bucket. Damn it. Damn that poop bucket. Seriously, I hate that poop bucket. And that video is a clip on Twitter. I hate it. I don't know how the hell I got stuck on it because all that stuff only happens to me. Damn
Crazy,
it.
you're
Only
gone.
happens to us.
Sour Blow showed us how bad he is of a driver too.
Yeah, he is.
Nope.
He is.
Sour Blow
Yep.
Sour Blow punted my car about a
Yes, he did.
football field's length,
Yep.
which was
Yes, he did.
pretty
The,
amazing.
the stream
At
is
one
on
point, Sour
Twitch.
Blow
The
was going
the
in
full
circles.
stream is on Twitch, and the highlight is here on this channel. So you can go ahead and watch it, and you'll see that
Yep.
these guys are just
Why am I on time
going
out
after
again?
me. What do you
Is he in
mean?
timeout again?
Do you even have to
Okay.
ask? Yes.
Was it the poop bucket?
Dude,
Yes.
Oh,
no, but there's nothing wrong with the poop bucket.
Oh, you're
What?
gonna keep on going? You want me to mute you?
Hold on. Another thing, you guys have not said what are your Elden Ring characters' name. I've been playing Elden Ring with you guys, and I got the best name for my character. His name is Wet
Come on.
Undies. That's the name for my
No.
character. Yes.
Keep it going. Keep it going.
yeah.
Keep it
No.
going.
No, you know what? I'll bring it classy, and I'll say
What?
that my character's name is Nathan Algren, as
Nathan
in
Algren.
Tom Cruise's character in The Last Samurai.
Oh, nice.
Nice.
So
name.
that's what I went with.
yeah.
I think
Nice.
Sour Blows
Better
is.
than wet underwear.
No, I just kept mine.
Scared. I'm scared. I'm scared.
No, I kept
No,
mine
but-
simple. My character name is just Sour.
Dude, I'm
Yeah,
gonna
yep.
say something. There was not one point in that game. I'm not kidding. There's sometimes because I always got into this all these messes, right? You're like, hey, I'm gonna go beat up this guy, and all of a sudden this guy just comes out of nowhere, just boom. You're like, oh man, it's crazy. It's a really tough
Yeah.
game, but
I
you gotta have patience and have
I think
strategy. It's tough.
the funniest video I saw was one on on Twitter that this guy
Oh,
was beating a boss and he was one hit away, and then one of those
Saw
little
that.
zombies with the
Yeah.
with the fire that
Uh-huh.
you can kill them so easily, that killed them. Oh my
oh
god.
man,
Oh,
and you guys
what
did
about
not
the
see.
dog? The one about petting the dog. You seen that one?
No,
The-
we haven't.
no, I
Oh, you
haven't
gotta
seen
watch
it.
it.
Oh man, but Fam's expression today, Gaming Key's expression today on Twitter, that was
Oh, I
hilarious.
saw that too.
He runs inside the church thinking, oh, he ain't gonna get me. And the big dude on the horse, Taro,
The tree
comes in.
sentinel. The tree. Yep.
He comes in
Yeah.
and boom, just hits him. It's like,
Yeah. Yeah.
So what's
oh
up,
man,
Lou?
oh
you been?
man. Oh man, I've been good, man. I've been having fun. You know, I've been playing under. We played on the ring with yesterday together. We've been playing for the past 2 days. Me giving you some tips, helping you out for you to learn the ways about the game. I've been really got into it. I mean, I got already. I think it is 18 hours in it. And yeah, after the show, I'm hopping back on and be a couple hours because seriously, I am enjoying the Elden Ring stuff. It's fun, and it's actually I've been 18 hours in it. And I can say seriously, it deserves that 10 because I just don't get tired of exploring. Every time I see the map, I just want to go here, go over there. I find new caves, new stuff, new armor, new swords, and it's intriguing how much stuff you can find in that game. There's only one complaint I do have though. If you're gonna choose a class, I mean, I want to find more stuff on my class, but I don't. What I find is more stuff on other classes, and it's pretty hard to find, armor for your class. They should do something about that. It's cool that I find stuff from other classes, but yeah, I want to find more stuff for my class and have more armor for my class. That's my
Yeah.
opinion. But yeah, so since now, I guess we gotta head into the flight entertainment, right? With our sexy stewardess, Mr. Joanna Dark. Go ahead and let's start talking about our flight entertainment for today, buddy. Haha.
Yeah. So today's itinerary, we got some good news. I mean, some news. It hasn't been nothing astronomical as Activision Blizzard or anything else, or Capcom was purchased by Tencent or something like that. But we do have a lot of news, and the first gaming news that we have
Wait,
is
you're
I don't know.
confirming that Capcom is being purchased?
No, not at all. Not at all.
You can't say that, man. That could get him in trouble. Stop
Not
that.
at all. Not at
Time out
all.
for time out for him.
Time
How do I
out. Time out for Sour Blow.
How can we
Time
time him
out for
out?
Sour.
How do we time out? Oh,
Okay, I'll put
But-
myself on timeout.
But I don't know if you saw, but one of the coolest things this week out of the Forza team was that they added American Sign Language and British Sign Language for cinematics, and I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah.
I know last week we kind of had a small conversation about accessibility in games, and I think this is a great example of a team going above and beyond and not just putting stuff and saying a game is accessible, but really putting the effort to include everyone. That's the biggest thing. Inclusion is big. And I think it's great. It blew my mind because I've never seen this before in any other game, and it was cool to see when they had the cinematics and they had the person that's doing the actual sign language in there. And overall, I think it's a great, and hopefully more developers see some of this and say, hey, let's start doing this because it is important. Especially, like I said last week, we're right now talking about Elden Ring. There's always a conversation about accessibility, and it's not just about difficulty, but making sure any person can play a game. What are your thoughts, Silent?
So yeah, no, I think that's really cool, honestly, that they put that into there. And I want to throw it on there personally for myself. I want to check it out, but I also want it on there for my kids because I think that's something that would be really cool for them to see. It's like we don't see that type of accessibility yet. Like there's very very massive levels that have come over the last few years and stuff. But something like that, like when I first heard them talking about that, I was thinking, okay, that's cool, but we'll see if it actually comes to fruition. And so I'm really excited to see that they actually were able to follow through with that one because any accessibility like that is killer. Obviously, I'm not affected in a situation where I need those accessibility options, but I'm really happy that they're there for people who do, you know. And if anything, it's also a good opportunity to, like get more familiarized with sign language and stuff like that. If you're curious, like it's cool to have it there, you know.
Sour what are your thoughts on this? Did you get a chance to watch the video, or overall just your thoughts on the whole fact that the team did went the extra mile to put this into the game?
Yeah, I mean, it's impressive that, they put all this effort into doing, kind of a feature that, it's for a small, maybe a small niche group of people that are actually, have this disability, but it's actually going to also play, that's really to applaud that a studio will take their time to actually do something like this, and it's great. I hope other studios implement other features like this.
Cool. Crazy thoughts on this. Did you get to
Me,
see it?
to be honest, I did not get to see it, but I'm happy they did implement it. I mean, it's a really good thing that they keep doing, and that gives other developers ideas to bring that stuff in their games. Because seriously, it's a good way for to help people with that disability to understand and enjoy their game. Really, I
Is
mean,
it?
I'm happy that they're doing it, and I'm happy that they keep on finding ways for people that are deaf, that people that have handicaps and stuff to sit down
Yeah.
and enjoy games. Because seriously, guys, when we sit down, I want those I want people to feel the same way I do when I sit down and play a game. And so I'm happy
Yeah,
that pretty much everybody's gonna get that access and enjoy the same things I am enjoying. Really, I mean that's what we do. We sit down. Games for us is like a stress relief. It's like a play. It takes us somewhere to enjoy and love the characters and have fun with the story. So yeah, I'm happy that they're bringing that so people and everybody can join in and with any type of disability can sit there and enjoy their game. Seriously, that's
there,
a good thing to know.
there's this
Yep.
game. I think, is it called The Void? I think that it's
The void.
all audio.
Yes, I was about to say that. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
that's a game that, if it eventually comes to Game Pass, I would be interested in playing it, and I would try to play it, like blindfolded or something, just to like have that experience to see how it feels, because I'm curious about it. It's interesting.
There was a game I played. I can't remember the name. It was early in the iPhone, and it was similar to that. And it was a horror game, and it was really good in the sense you put on the headphones, and you were being narrated as you were going through this corridor, and it was something different, especially um, you know, for someone that might be legally blind and may want to experience an adventure like this. It was just like wow. And it just, I closed my eyes. I remember closing my eyes as I was playing this, and it was cool to kind of use my imagination and listening. And it was really well, very descriptive of how it was walking through. Kind of felt like when you hear, you're in a movie and the person's trying to hypnotize, and in the movie all of a sudden everything changes. It was very good. So it's great that we have these games that also are tailored, and you can also experience them
Yeah.
yourselves. So yeah, some pretty cool things out there. And
For
hopefully this is like a some continues to be a staple that when you're
Yeah.
developing games, developers are getting the right people to work with, so that it's more of a state of mind in the sense that from day one you're building your game to be accessible to everyone, so everyone can enjoy and be like, hey, you did a fantastic job, no matter um, what type of disability you might have.
I one thing that I think that comes with this, right, is there's the thought that like it's a small group, it's a small minority of people who are affected by these things too, and it's really not. Like you look at over the last couple of years, especially even just one thing that I've seen a lot is even just like color blindness options, right? Like there's
Yeah.
there's such a broad array of different disabilities and potential issues like that people have, and it's been really nice. Like I know the color blindness side of things, I've seen a lot of that support for the last couple of years for sure. And I think especially once Microsoft brought out that special controller too, like
The
that
adaptive the
could,
adaptive
yeah,
controller.
yeah,
the adaptive controller was really cool. And it was just, it again, it's like Will I end up using some of those things? No, but it's so good that they're there. And honestly, there are so many people with those different disabilities, and we don't hear about it a lot. And so it's really good to see a lot of those people actually getting that support.
Yeah, yeah. So
Yep.
before we kind of move on to the next topic, since we're kind of in this racing, state of mind, hey, Crazy, why don't you give a shout out to some of the people in the chat?
Yeah, I was gonna do that right now. Oh my god, there's people in here just moving that chat on. First, let's start with my Halo brother, Richard Nerd. Oh man, happy to see you here, my Halo brother. Also, the man, the Grasso, Mr. Tony Grasso, here with us. What's up, Mr. Tony Grasso? And as always, risk it for the biscuit, my budgie smuggler brother. You guys know what a budgie smuggler is? No? You guys want to know?
Is this another timeout option?
Is this gonna earn you another timeout?
No, a budget smuggler's a speedo. Yes. So yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay. That's what they call it in Australia. Yes. And also Sean Ham. What's up, Sean Ham in the house? Let me see who else is in here. And Jedi Peter, as always, in here. What's up, Jedi Peter? Ooh. And Eternal Umbra just came in. Hello, Eternal Umbra. Welcome to the show.
Yeah,
So,
we got the entire Xbox Symphony crew here.
Yes, we do. We do. That's awesome.
Awesome. We
That's-
appreciate
yes.
the support.
Yes, we do.
Yes.
Appreciate that awesome support, you guys. Really love you guys.
Yeah, so now that we kind of went from Forza, something came out. Reviews came out today for Gran Turismo 7, and the game has been getting great reviews, which is great. So it's great to see for people that have wanted the return of Gran Turismo and been waiting for this type of game. Again, I'm not into racing games to that extent, but it's great to see that whatever people that might have been like, oh, is this going to be good? Is it going to be coming back? It's good to know that people are liking it so far from the reviews. And I listened to a couple of them. ACG was one of that I listened to, and he was talking about how for people that don't have steering wheels, they added like this I guess like I would say more like gyro motion controls that you can use that kind of simulates. So if you want to use your controller, some pretty cool features that they're still kind of uncovering. So yeah, it's pretty cool. I mean, across the board, that's awesome. That means that people have another game they can play. And now, just like Xbox players had Forza, and we still have Forza Horizon 5. Now PlayStation players have their real car simulator. I'm pretty sure. I want to get Silent Cypher. He probably was looking at those cars like, yeah, look at those cars.
Yeah, he
Stop
loves
it,
those-
Silent.
Yeah. No, it's cool. And honestly, again, I think if anything, the real takeaway for me, because I don't have a PlayStation, so I'm not going to play it right now. I'll play it when I go to my friend's house. But I was nervous with Gran Turismo. I felt again like that one was maybe gonna come out and be just kind of all right. Like, it didn't fill me with a lot of hope at the time. Like I feel like when Forza Horizon 5 came out and they showed those initial trailers, it was absolutely wowing. Like it hit you that, oh my god, these visuals have increased. Like they've become so much better than they used to be. And I didn't get that same vibe from Gran Turismo initially. Like it looked okay, but it looked very sterile. And so I'm really happy that it's doing as well as it is so far. I think on a competitive side of things, I think it's only better for the consumers too, because again, if this is doing well, then that Forza Motorsport is looking at that and keeping that in mind on those different things. Like, okay, well, what can we do to try and
Well, remember, Forza Motorsport 8 is going to be next gen, so it's not even being a cross generational game.
Yes, which is a major feather in their cap. I think that's a major benefit. But I think if there are certain things that they see Gran Turismo do, I think that's a major benefit for them, because they can look at it and say, okay, well, what can we utilize that we see they're doing? It's like the competition's always good for us as consumers. So yeah, great for Sony people. I'm very happy that they've got that, and I'm happy because it means that competition will continue and it'll just get better for everyone.
Zablo, what's up? What do you think about Gran Turismo 7? Did you get to read some of the reviews? I mean, what are your thoughts prior to that?
Honestly, no. I didn't even know the reviews came out yet.
Oh,
Like
okay.
till I saw the notes. I was at work and I was listening to podcasts or doing different things while I was at work. So I didn't know about the reviews, but I'm glad if it's getting great reviews. I mean, that's good. That means the game is having good critics. Hopefully, it's a great game, just like Forza. And like you said, the PlayStation platform has a great car game, which is great. Competition is always great. Definitely.
Yeah, it seems like everyone was waiting for this game, and it's like the for the very it's for the people that are very into cars and everything. I mean, they say they have. Someone was saying that even if you're not, there's a story mode into the I guess the car cafe that they were showing, and that really kind of gives you a little taste. But crazily, what's up, man? What are your thoughts on Gran Turismo 7?
One of my thoughts on Gran Turismo 7, I'm actually really happy, man. Like what Sourblue said, we want competition. I mean, I don't want console competition. I want game competition because when the game does good, the other one's going to do better. And when that one does better, the other one's going to do a lot more better than the
Yes.
other one. So, yeah, I want game
But
competition. I love
but
that
but
grind.
no
What? What?
but
What? What?
no zoom competition, please. No like zooming in the in the games.
They're
For
gonna they're, they're
not
gonna
that
still
type of
zoom.
competition.
They're gonna still zoom. They're gonna still zoom. I just hope one day they will zoom and the wee wee comes out. That's what I hope, though.
No, 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 no,
Oh, give
no,
him a
no,
timeout
Timeout.
now.
Yep,
Oh,
yep.
Give him a
yep.
Timeout.
timeout.
That's a
Time.
timeout.
He gets a timeout. That's
what?
We've got to
100%.
fix. We got to fix
Yeah,
these decisions very quickly.
that is
What
100%
What are you
a
drinking,
timeout.
Brian? Well,
I am drinking some really good rye whiskey that's blended in sherry casks. Actually,
nice.
it's delicious. I forget
Yo,
what brand it
let me
is,
get a
but
timeout,
it is
boy.
so good. Mm, so
Yeah,
good.
so good.
Warms the soul.
Yep, like Crazy Lou in a timeout. So good. So anyway, on to the next news. Resident Evil. The Resident Evil games are getting visual enhancements for free. This is awesome. So
Yeah.
today Capcom announced that Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 will be coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X and S with visual enhancements later this year. Um, those who currently own the PS4 and Xbox One, this is pretty cool, will be eligible to get a digital upgrade at no additional cost. So that's awesome
Oh,
that
that's
Capcom
great.
is doing this for people that still are not able to upgrade to next gen or maybe are not ready yet. So I'm excited because I just want to replay those games because I love them. And these enhancements, I guess, whatever enhancements they're making, they're also making it on the PC as well. Even though they didn't mention at first, they also confirmed that some of these enhancements that they're adding will be there. So it's pretty cool. I'm that's great for people that maybe want to revisit some of the RE titles or people that haven't picked them up yet and maybe now's they'll wait and say, hey, now's the time to get in. Another thing they said is that they're gonna have ray tracing, high frame rate, of course 3D audio, and then for the PS5 version they're gonna utilize some of the DualSense controls like haptic and adaptive triggers.
Is
What?
is those image real, like the one they showed?
I'm not sure. I
Because
didn't see any
I
images.
saw like a post and that's where I saw that news and I saw like 3 images. If those images are real, I mean, they look amazing.
Uh, I mean, if they are, I didn't see them. I only read the post,
Okay.
and
I mean,
this was through Twitter.
I'll say on its own, like RE7, which is what that's the oldest one of the group now.
Well, remember, it got a 1X enhancement on the 1X.
Yes, yes, but
Yes.
even before it got hit with the upgrade, because that was like 6 months to a year down the road, wasn't it?
Mhm.
Even without that, that game looked amazing. Like that game was creepy. It felt like you were very much like in the Saw movies, and it felt very realistic. Like it was a whole thing on its
Se-
own. So if they
seven
can
was
ramp that up,
7 was like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre
yes,
in a
yeah.
way.
Mhm.
Is this something crazy that will make you maybe replay these games again?
Oh, what you mean, Resident Evil?
Yeah, with these enhancements that are coming for free, maybe you want to revisit the games, or have you played all of them?
I'll
All
be
two,
honest
three,
with
and
you.
7.
if I wanted to replay them again, yes, I'm gonna replay two because I love two. But part three, no, I'm not gonna play part three. Part three was a really horrible remake. I mean, on my point of view, I did not like it. I don't know why they messed up Nemesis, and I'm a big fan of of all the Resident Evils, of all of them. For me the best one was Resident Evil 3 Nemesis because that's you had a big dude chasing after you, you running around like screaming like a little girl. You're like what? And when that thing pops up out of nowhere, you're just like oh man, oh, crap. You just crap your pants every time that dude just boom in there, and I I don't know
You're
why.
towing, you're towing the line, crazy. You love towing the line. You love living
Yeah,
No,
dangerously.
we love.
no. But I'm not kidding you though. I mean, that's you were playing the game. You like all this quiet because that's what Resident Evil had best. I mean, from the first one to all those games, that it was like you're nice and quietly walking on the passageway. There was no music or nothing. All of a sudden it goes boom, and then the music starts. You're like wow.
Yeah.
And that's what they had really good going on. I mean, seriously, it's not the first time I'm telling you that game made people crap their pants and pee their pants because you're like, oh my god, what happened? And yeah, and they ruined that Nemesis. And Nemesis is a character that is really powerful on that third one. But yes, if I go back, I'll play number two, and I'll go play the other ones that are getting the enhancements. Seriously, Resident Evil 7 for me was good. I have not played the eight. I want to play the eight, but the
Oh,
thing is for Resident Evil 7, I thought it lacked a little bit more on the enemy side. I
it
love
it it, it felt. I think Resident Evil
yeah,
7 fell apart in the at the end.
it fell apart
Yeah.
at
It
the
fell
end.
apart.
At the end, it got good. For me, it got good when Chris Redfield came out, rescued you. Oh, spoiler,
Mm.
sorry.
I
No, you didn't
mean,
like it.
I mean, at this point, if people haven't played it, I mean, it's a game's been out for a while, so we
Statute
can
Yeah,
of
apologize.
limitations is
so
only
apologies.
so
Sorry,
far.
my bad. Sorry, my bad. But yeah, I mean, I thought the ending was pretty cool. But the thing is about the game was that for me, it lacked enemies. It was just pretty much the same enemies all the way. It was pretty
I
solid
mean,
on that.
I mean, I think it was not the enemies. I just
Yeah,
felt it went from a game that you were always feeling the tension to
yeah. To action.
to back what I hated about Resident Evil 6, which
Oh, the
was just
action.
it became like like an action movie, like a Michael Bay movie, and you was just like,
Oh,
okay,
but that always happened because when you watch all the Resident Evil games, all of a sudden at the end you get this countdown. They always end with a
yeah,
countdown,
but
but
it
action
just
countdown. It's
this
crazy.
it just I felt the story kind of went to this place that I was just like, okay, this is your typical Resident Evil 6 plot or something, but
Oh
you know,
yeah, I know, yeah, I know.
but either way, it was a magnificent game. What
But
about you?
I'm, but
Oh,
wait,
sorry.
so I was gonna say, but yeah, I'm happy that they're getting the free enhancements. Which seriously, saying out the saying though, if you're gonna grab an old game, guys from Sony, if you're gonna grab an old game, start charging the people $10. I mean, put it for free, make people happy because I want to be a guy that I put on a precision game, and I know that if I'm gonna do the enhancement, I know it's free, and I don't get mad like, oh man, I gotta spend $10 more. I mean, really, put it for free, man. Make everybody happy. Microsoft is doing it. Do it,
Well,
guys.
no,
Stop.
well, the it is free for Capcom.
Oh, for Capcom, yeah. So I'm saying
Everything.
that,
So Capcom is
yeah,
giving
yeah,
to
everything
all
for
player
free. Yeah, yeah.
bases
That's what I'm
and
saying.
PS4 and Xbox One
Yeah,
digital upgrades regardless. So I think that's great.
yeah. That's great, and they should take that and do it the same thing. Stop charging people $10. Jesus. But anyways, that's my opinion, though.
Diablo, I know you don't like playing horror games because you walked away from Elden Ring. Does this
How
make you kind of go to Resident Evil?
how does Elden Ring is not a horror game in the first place?
That's not
It
exactly.
was for you
Like, what?
because they
It's
because you ran away from
terrifyingly
it.
difficult.
I'm still playing it. And anyway, the horror games I don't like is the
He's
ones
playing it just like he's playing
is the
Star Citizen.
ones it's not that I don't like, it's just that it's not my type of game. If you can't shoot the monster or the zombie or whatever's chasing you, or you can't hit him with a bat or something, that's not for me. If you can shoot back, then I'll play it. And yeah, I bought the whole
But you're terrible at shooting as well. So
whatever. Anyway, I bought the whole Resident Evil collection. I already
Yeah.
have it, and I was planning on playing through all of them. So this excites me even more. So yeah,
Yeah,
definitely
but
excited.
here's the thing, Salvador, and that's something you guys don't understand. Yes, Elder Ring has some scary parts. The thing is, you guys have not gone in there because when you guys
Oh
go
yeah,
into the
I mean
when you
yeah,
guys go
when
when you guys
something
go
pops
into the
out.
tunnels, when you guys go into the tunnels and stuff
Yes.
beneath the crypts, if you're walking and you don't look side by side, all of a sudden this enemy's gonna pop out and hit you on the back, and you're already tense because you
Yeah,
don't know
but
what's gonna happen.
that's
That's
not
that's
horror to me. That's just
that's just a scary jump for me. I go, whoa, I jump up. That's for me.
Yeah. No, I know. I that happened to me like once or
Yeah,
twice
they
already.
they
Yeah.
do have that feeling in there, but no,
Yeah.
it's not a scary game like you said. Yeah, but it's a tough game. Yeah. Oh man, Elden Ring. I can't wait to play it later on.
Yeah. No, I'm excited as well. When I played, I think 2 and 3, I was just moving, so I didn't have my OLED. I was playing off a 15-inch laptop that wasn't, as nice. So I didn't get to even enjoy some of the HDR features. So I've been meaning to go back, and I've been here, go back and actually revisit, because I love RE is one of my favorite franchises of all time, and similar to Metal Gear, I own Resident Evil on everything. Like I have it on GameCube. I literally own that franchise on everything. So I can never say I cannot play the game because I own them on everything. So I definitely want to go in, see what these enhancements are going to be, and replay them. 2, 3, and then 7. I played recently, so I think I want to go back and do another playthrough of 8. 8 was, and Lou, you should play 8. 8 is
No,
so
no,
good.
I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna play it. I'm gonna stream it on Twitch. I know everybody's
Yeah.
just gonna hop on there and laugh at me because that's what they do. They just laugh at me, especially when I get jump scares on the game. And I know Sourblow's gonna be there, so he can laugh at me too because I was watching him play that horror game. What's it called? They were playing, and
Oh.
Sourblow was like this. I'm not kidding. He was like this.
And
He was like, I was like, oh man, he was like, should I enter the room? I don't know. I'm scared. Should I enter the room? It's like, dude, enter the room. It's like, no, I'm scared. Dude, just enter the room. I had to like push him into the room. He didn't know. I want to enter the room. Oh my god.
and shout out to Eternal Umbra.
Yeah.
He's a man of good taste. Yes,
Yeah,
Code Veronica.
I know you were gonna
Oh,
say something
man.
about that.
Oh.
I was like, man, should I delete that? Oh man, you just read that.
Why are you? First of all,
Mr. Dark
we
and
know no timeout. Get out of here, Cypher.
Time
Put you
out
in
to
timeout.
both of them.
No. But anyway, but yeah, that's Resident Evil. And next, since Xbox International is all about flights, right? What game to better come out in the cloud than, of course, Flight Sim has finally come to cloud gaming.
Oh yes.
What's up?
Right.
Can I talk about Resident Evil, or are you just gonna go right into Code Veronica and ignore me?
Oh,
Oh.
Huh? What about Resident Evil? You said
You
your
did
two
it.
pieces
You did
there.
it. You did it.
You're
once.
not. You're not a. Well, he talked about he did Veronica slander, so he.
Oh, so that's why.
Going
That's
right
what
past
thinking
me. I
about.
get it.
No, go ahead.
No, I'll make it short. No, I honestly I'd played through 7. I played through 3, through 2. I never ended up playing through 3. I think I'll probably end up revisiting all of them. Honestly, like I get what you're saying with number 7, especially towards the end. It definitely it diverted so far away from what it was initially, like when they were in houses and stuff like that. Again, spoilers. But when they were in those initial settings, it was flawless. As soon as I got away from that and shifted to the later section, I wasn't for it. Like it just suddenly dropped off. Number 2 was great. Number 3, now that I know that this is coming, I'll wait until that update comes out because
Did you play
No.
3?
no, I never
Okay.
ended up playing it.
I'm not gonna say anything. Put it this way, I enjoyed 3. I
Yeah.
just didn't like some of the liberties they took of taking some key parts. As someone who liked the original 3.
Yeah,
But besides that, I think it's still a good game in the series. But again, not a
Worth-
bad game.
worth playing through. Just
Of course.
So
Yep.
so the 3 has a remake also, like 2.
yeah, it did.
Yes. So
Okay.
And
Resident
does
Evil
it-
Nemesis.
I have a question though, because the old 2 played a different way, and then
Yes.
the new 2 played a like
Mhm.
like for like
So-
with the shooter
so-
camera.
so that-
Is 3 the same way?
Yeah, it did get an upgrade, but here's the thing though. Like for example, when you play part 2, all right. The scary thing about part 2, all the scary stuff is in part 2. I mean, seriously, you feel the tension you felt back in the day, especially when you meet Mr. X. For me, Mr. X is what Nemesis should have been in part 3. That's what Mr. X should have been. When you play part 2, you're gonna see Mr. X. You're gonna see this big
No,
badass
but
bulldozer dude
I mean the
chasing after you.
mechanics
But
is
yeah,
what
no, the
I'm.
mechanics are different. The mechanics are way more different. They're a lot. It wasn't like before. It's a different mechanic because
Okay.
there is a Resident Evil HD that came out, right?
Yeah.
And that Resident Evil HD does have the old mechanics from the old Resident Evil games. But this one, the second and the third, have the new mechanics going on.
Yeah, those tank controls were super
Yeah,
super rough on those games. And
yeah, but
I know what it was mentioned in the chat. Jedi Knight Peter ended up
yeah,
mentioning the fact of the remake of number 4. And yeah, I that was something that stopped me from playing number 4 when they did that remaster. What, even like a couple years ago, they kicked out one for like $20, and you could tell like it was very much just like file save as higher
yeah,
resolution. So I was really happy to see that potentially this would get the same treatment as like number 2 and number 3 did,
yeah,
because it needs better controls than those tank controls.
Yeah,
yeah. I
I
remember
played.
those. Okay,
Oh,
go,
I'm
go.
sorry. I was gonna say I played the old 1 and 2, and I
Mhm.
didn't really like that style of gameplay. But I did. I played 4 also, and that was the only Resident Evil I have beaten.
Yeah,
Because here's the thing though, it was on those styles back in the day were on purpose, just it was because in a way when you were playing and you were actually like in a corner
build
and
more tension.
it got more tense because you gotta find a way how to aim to shoot the zombie. I mean,
Yes.
seriously, and not only that, to shoot him in the head, you had like to really know how to measure with the shotgun because the shotgun it was holding him on the hip. So
Mhm.
you had to measure how to shoot it and the precise moment when you shot the shotgun to blow the head off. So yeah, all that stuff. That was some tough mechanics back in the day. But yeah, that's what made the game challenging in that moment. But when Resident Evil 4 came out, which the scare thing, how the game was scary. The thing is, it was in Spanish, so every time that guy comes like, "Hey, estamos aquí," we're like, "A mí qué me importa, coño?" Like you're here, like well, I don't give a damn, because like it wasn't it wasn't that scary for us. But yeah, but the mechanics of Resident Evil 4 was like a little bit more action because even Leon did a kick and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. It was a pretty fun way to play the game. It got more action, but the scare thing was actually depleting because in Resident Evil 5 it was a lot more action, and then Resident Evil 6 it was just an entire action
Yeah.
game. It was just an entire action. It was like an Arnold Schwarzenegger going in, let's go zombie mode and killed everybody with Sylvester Stallone and Antonio Banderas on the side.
Yeah,
That's that's
it was Expendables, the video game.
yeah. It was Expendables, the zombie killers. Yeah, that's what it was. Seriously.
Hmm.
No, it's funny how those game
Yeah.
controls degraded so much, right?
Yeah.
Because the controls for 1, 2, 3, 4, all those, it felt intense. It felt very anxiety
Yep.
inducing back in the day. But
Yep.
it's like when we went back to those remasters that they did like a few years ago,
Yeah.
it wasn't anxiety, like it wasn't scary. It was just frustrating.
It was just annoying. Yeah, because back in the day when that came out, we were like, "Wow, this is so cool,"
Yeah,
but
yeah,
now
like
it's like that's annoying.
it felt
It's
realistic back then, but
yeah.
it's like now, which granted, I get it.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
like 15, 20 years later, the game's not going to hold up the same if you keep
Yeah.
on the exact same mechanics, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, so Resident Evil. So here's my last thing before we move on to the next. We gotta move on to the next is Code Veronica, right? The problem with Code Veronica is that the controllers didn't age well. Out of all the Resident Evil, it's terrible. The 10
Yep.
controls, but as a game, it's a key part in the Resident Evil lore, and it was amazing. And I don't care what you have to say.
The
I
only
don't care what Miles has to say.
you know what
Code
you know
Veronica is
you know
a
what
gem.
you know what's the only cool thing about Code Veronica is when Chris Redfield came at the game to find Wesker and he had the Wesker fight. That was the only cool part of Code Veronica. That was it.
You'll probably give me
Claire Redfield is an awesome
No, no, no.
protagonist.
I'm not saying that Claire Redfield's story was. I'm not saying that Claire Redfield as a person, as a character, is bad. The story, the twins, and all that stuff, I did not dig into it. I was like, okay, I didn't
you'll
get
probably,
to
You
get
guys
me
are
into the
haters.
game.
But
I'm
you'll
not a
probably
hater. I'm
anyway,
being serious though. I'm being serious.
as
I
as
tried.
we as we move on,
no, 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 no,
we
no.
no
No,
no
no, no,
we
no.
no,
Probably
no
give
more.
me time out for it, and I'll take it. But Code Veronica was just like Resident Evil 6 in the
Nope,
fact that they were
nope. Nope,
fart of the
nope.
series.
Don't
That's a
you
low
dare.
blow
No,
right
don't you
there.
dare. Don't
Yeah.
you dare. Don't you
Soggy,
dare.
soggy baby diapers is what those games were.
Don't you dare. Don't
Oh,
you dare.
before we
The
move on, let me do a
wondering.
quick. Let me do a
Oh
quick.
yeah.
Let me do a couple shout outs real quick in here. We got my shovel brother, Stop Sean in the house. What's up, my shovel brother? Also, who's here? I saw another person in here. Let's say
Dutch.
hi.
The
I know I just saw
wondering.
Wonder Dutch popping on, but yeah, okay then. So, oh, whoa. I knew I saw somebody. Hey, Big Matt Doe, the man. Oh, Big Matt Mo, I mean, not Doe.
Why
The
do you keep saying
man.
no? Come
I
on.
don't know. I don't know why to say Doe,
It's
though.
because
But
Big Mad Mo makes that big bad dough.
Doe, exactly. Wasn't he fighting a boss for like an hour in Elden Ring? Mad props to Big Matt Mo, man.
Well,
Seriously.
and he's always working, so he's making that dough.
Yep. Hey, that's how you see.
So
And
as we
also,
transition, Brian.
wait, let me see.
So
Let me see how. Let me say how
oh,
to Wonder. What? You're not gonna let me say how to Wonder Dutch?
so,
Oh
well,
man, you're gonna get a
real
timeout for
quick.
not.
So Sea of Thieves is better than Code Veronica.
No, get out of here.
No.
Anyway, continue, Christopher.
No,
Get out of here. Get out of here.
you're not
Sour
going to
blow.
win that fight. No.
Sour blow. Why don't you give yourself a timeout for even trying? How about that?
Yeah,
Oh,
no.
man.
It's definitely
Go
better.
go back.
Yeah, I don't know
Go
about
play Star
games.
Citizen. Go play Star Citizen.
I would rather play Code Veronica on a VHS and have to keep rewinding it and doing all sorts of stuff like that than playing Sea of Thieves.
Oh
So
Lord.
you go ahead, and take that Sea of Thieves, put it back in your pocket, and walk down the street.
What's up, Wondering Dutch is also in the house. My brother Dutch, welcome, brother.
Is Sour
Dutch.
crying? Is Sour crying? I think Sour's crying.
No. Why am I crying? Sea of Thieves has like 20 million players
Yeah,
playing.
Like,
Yeah.
He was like going like this. He's like, I'm not
So
crying.
no.
you know,
Oh,
sour.
wait.
Sour.
Oh, hey,
A lot,
Dutch
a
is,
lot of
hey.
people try. A lot of people try things and regret it. So-
Hey, look, Dutch is a Sea of Thieves fans
No.
right there. Sea of Thieves is a
Sea of
goat.
Thieves is a
There
goat.
you go.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go.
The greatest of all time for putting me to bed.
Not Dutch. Not when Starbo plays because he just sinks a ship in the port.
Yep, he does. I mean, I seen him drive the ship when he put it on top of a mountain. No joke. I'm not kidding you. I seen him put the ship on top of the mountain. Don't ask me why he does it.
You
He's
know
the
what?
only one who doesn't.
If Dutch wants me to play Sea of Thieves, I'll play Sea of Thieves.
Oh, so you won't play it for me, but you will play it for Dutch? Oh, okay.
Look,
I got you.
Starbo's crying. He's crying.
Now I'm really, now you really hurt my feelings.
Look,
Oh my
He's
god.
about to drink his salty tears. Look.
Yeah. Right here, my salty tears. Yeah.
Oh dear Lord.
But
That is so
anyway.
Oh man. Anyways, keep going.
Yeah, so to continue really quick, so we can get to the topics. We had Flight Simulator this week, finally launched on cloud, and I think that's huge.
Yes.
Because you have this amazing game powered, no pun intended, by the cloud.
Yep.
Yes.
Be able to be played on any device, and I think that's huge. Especially in parts of the world that may not have current generation consoles, or may still be on an Xbox One, or prefer to play on PC, or just have a computer that they could just log in. I mean, real quick, do you think this is a huge thing, Silent Cypher?
I'm not. I'm sorry, you're gonna have to put me in timeout. I wasn't paying attention because we had an awesome chat that I was trying to respond back to. What'd you say?
Put him in timeout. Put him in timeout. Hey,
he was paying
what do you
attention to
think?
the chat, so
What do you think about this? Is this a good thing? Is this big?
No, this is definitely big, especially, a game like Flight Sim that, it's plus 100, gigabytes, and there's a lot of people that have been wanting to try it, but in a way they don't want to download, all these files, the whole game itself in order to try it. And I think a lot of people, they don't know what they're missing. I think you should try it. It's definitely it's a very interesting game. It's a game that for me, one of the most interesting thing is actually the tutorial, because the tutorial, you go through the tutorial and you can actually learn how to fly a plane. It's amazing. I know it might not sound amazing now, but when you're actually doing it and you're going through the controls and you're doing the different tutorial part, and you actually feel oh, I'm actually learning how to fly an actual plane. it's really, it feels really good. Honestly, it does.
Yeah, no, I think it's a technical marvel. Like even Dutch said it right there. And it just shows, just overall, the ability to scale some of the games on the Xbox platform and allow a game like, a Forza, like a Flight Sim, like a Halo Infinite to be played, via streaming, which is great. Because again, not all of us either have the consoles currently. Um, you know, we just heard with some of the stuff happening, unfortunately, in the world, there's going to be constraints on that even further. So it's great to see a game of that magnitude,
Yeah.
in the cloud playing. Crazy Lou, what are your thoughts?
No, that's pretty amazing. I mean, seriously, I want to tell you something. Whenever I pop in that flight simulator on my computer, I mean, my feet get warm. I'm telling you, my feet start to get warm because that's how hot my computer gets for flight simulator. I'm not kidding you. It gets really hot. I mean, the computer has a 2080 in it, and it gets warm. It gets so warm. It gets even warmer than my Series X. No joke. And to hear that this game that warms up the PC, that's like what's it called? What's the thing called? You
Crisis,
put it.
like Crisis.
No, 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 no,
It
no, no, no. What's that called thing?
benchmarking.
No, no, no. What's the thing called that's on the wall and it brings out heat? What's the thing called? Chimney. It warms your computer up like a chimney.
I've never
It's
heard of a
actually
chimney. I never heard of a chimney in a wall, but please continue. You enticed me about this.
chimneys on the wall.
He's
Chimneys on
trying
the
to say
walls.
the. I know what he's trying to say. He's trying to say the
continue.
heater.
I feel like this
Chimney
is
in
a
a
gas
wall.
leak show.
Aren't chimneys in the wall? Wait, I'm confused. Aren't chimneys in the wall though? Okay, but anyway though.
No,
He's trying to say the heater.
the the
Oh, the
fireplace.
heater. Yes, the fireplace. The
The
fireplace.
fireplace
That's
is in the
The
wall.
fireplace.
The
Oh,
chimney
the
is
fireplace.
outside of the house.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Oh, the shit. Okay. Oh, good lord. Well, yeah, but I guess it's awesome to hear that again. That warms your computer like a fireplace. Now I'm saying it right, like a fireplace. It warms the computer like a fireplace. Be on the cloud. That's pretty amazing, man. I mean, seriously, I I tried the cloud. Um, how did I do it? I used the VPN because since I live in Dominican, it's hard for it's still not here the cloud. So yes, I used the VPN and tried the cloud, but I tried it with this game on what's it called? The
How does it?
Shred
How
Base.
does it rain if you have no clouds?
What?
You said there's no clouds in the Dominican Republic, so how does it rain?
Oh, oh, my bad. I mean, yeah, there's no X cloud. Sorry about that.
I liked Stuff Sean's post of carbon monoxide poisoning confirmed.
I think we know now why he does some of the crazy things he does because he has a chimney in the wall.
Yeah, he's got a chimney that goes right into the furnace, so that way it recycles throughout his house. It's like a nonstop gas leak at all times.
Uh,
Oh my god!
If anyone wants a chimney in the wall, Crazy Luke can install it.
It's okay.
Now that I've studied up for class, can I say something on flight?
Yeah, go,
simulator?
go, go,
Of
go,
course,
go, go,
yes.
go, yeah.
So yeah, no, I obviously you guys have already said most of it, but yeah, flight sim on the cloud is awesome. Like the fact that you can jump in and you can just go anywhere in the world on that game, and now you can do it, in the cloud, like on your phone, on your laptop, whatever. Like it's cool. Like I've shown both of my kids that, I've shown my wife that, and it's whether you like to play the game or not, and whether you spend a lot of time on it, it's an experience worth having, right?
Yes.
Because you're going to see stuff you will never see in real life. Let's face it. Like you're not
Yeah.
going to go to every edge of the world. And so to be able to see, Fiji, to be able to see all these different places, Everest, like I'm not going to see that in real life. Let's face it. I'm a big fat fatty. I'm not going to climb Everest. So if I can see it, in a video game and I can experience that, that's great. Like that's awesome to me. So yeah, props to him for making it available.
So wait, Jen and I, Peter has a question for me. Is this how is the latency when using the VPN Crazy Louis? Well, I'm gonna tell you something. It has its latency here, and I just hope that XCloud comes here because really, I would love to use it at work, and I would love to use it everywhere I go. But yeah, I tried it, and honestly, I was playing Maneater, and it was a little bit laggy, but I could actually play it. I could actually have fun with it.
That game
But
is so good.
Did it feel like you were in water?
What?
Did it feel like
If
you were in water?
you're in water? What do
Yeah,
you
you
mean
were
I'm in
playing
water?
Maneater. You were playing Maneater.
Man-eater.
So what's wrong with that? I don't know what you
Were
mean
you
though.
playing the dating sim or the shark sim?
The shark sim, yeah, the one that he
Oh
goes
yeah.
up and bites people's booties and stuff like that. You know,
Yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
in the
the
water.
part.
hey,
What? What?
what? You're really close to another timeout.
Yeah, he's
Oh,
close. He's
I
close
wait,
to
but
it.
Wait,
doesn't the
whoa, whoa, whoa,
wait.
whoa.
Doesn't the
No,
shark eats people's butts? He does because he cuts them in half. I did say something truthful
But
though.
you don't have
Mhm.
to be so detailed.
you all you had to say was it cuts him in half. You don't have to
Yes.
name any orifices or anything like that. There's not necessary. There's nothing
Okay.
necessary. We've seen Jaws. Some of us have seen sharks and what they
Mhm.
do.
And
Yeah,
what
yeah.
does Jaws always attacks from beneath, and where does he go? Up the
No,
butt and bites the butt.
give him a timeout
Yes.
right now.
Oh,
Quick
That is
side
a
note,
certified timeout.
while we time out him, I'll probably get one for this too. I've never seen Jaws.
Okay, cool.
What?
I mean, that's
what?
what? Oh man,
Okay.
Sorry.
you're gonna get an indefinite suspension. That's what you're gonna do.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes.
But but yeah. So as we kind of round out the news, Game Pass games for March were announced, and some pretty good ones here. I'm gonna start off with Kentucky Route Zero. I don't know if everyone's played this game, but it's really fantastic. Think of it an old school type Monkey Island adventure game, point and click about this place. You're a truck driver. You stop at this place and you're trying to find out about Route 66. And it's really good. I played it years ago. All the episodes are out. If you want a really good mystery, a really good story, I definitely recommend it. Kentucky Route Zero. And that's coming to cloud, console, and PC. That's coming on March 10th. Then, of course, maybe this can help me be better at gardening, but Lawnmower Simulator is coming. But this one's coming to Xbox One. And this is coming on March 10th as well. Then, of course, we have Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy for cloud,
Ooh.
console,
Oh,
and
man.
PC. So Star Lord comes to Game Pass. Has everyone
Star-Lord.
played it here?
No,
Yeah.
man.
I haven't. And I hear everybody talk about it. You're one of them that talks about it. I heard Mav talk about it. I don't know if that's Dutch played it. I don't know if Dutch played it, but everybody, even Boom that's played it, everybody that here that played that game, always said, "Hey." I always said, "Damn, this game is good. This game is fun. This game is awesome." And the thing is that I think me and you had this conversation the other day about how the game didn't sell that well. Remember? Didn't we talk
Yeah.
about it? And me and you
Yeah.
had the conversation, and I told you maybe it's because of what happened with Avengers. So this is a good thing that they're putting in Game Pass, so people can try it and be like, "Hey, let me buy this game." And I hope that does help sales go up because really, that game looks a lot of fun, and people
Yes.
people tell me it's a fun game. I can't wait to play it. Seriously, it's on there for me to play.
Marvel's Guardians of the Galaxy. I wasn't sold on it when I saw because Square didn't do a good job of promoting it. But when I finally
Yeah.
played it, it felt like, hey, is this Volume 3? Is this the long-awaited Volume 3 I wanted? The banter between, Star Lord and the rest of the Guardians, between Rocket Raccoon, it literally, Gamora, Drax. It was just overall, is the combat something to be desired for? Sure, but it also felt a little bit like Sunset Overdrive with some of the stuff you can do. But overall, fantastic game. A
Also,
game that most likely I will revisit at some point again because it's just one of those games that I want to replay again and go through maybe some of the things that I may have not, collected to 100% it. But overall, this is a huge for anyone that hasn't played it. And unfortunately, in Square's eyes, I don't think there's a number. Whoever does their budgeting and budget and does these estimates is ridiculous because let's put it this way: if anything might be a disappointment, it might be Strangers of Paradise: Final Fantasy Origins. Some people have told me that it was good. To me, it looked like it looked like a game stuck in a PS2, PS3 era, and it just didn't grab me.
oh look, Tony Grosso says, "Don't sleep on lawn mowing simulators. Super therapeutic and challenging at times." Hey man, I am gonna play the lawn mowing. I play every sim out there. I love playing sim games. I did play the farm simulator, but man, I did not do good in that game. Yeah, I was like, okay, it's kind of slow. It's cool, but yeah, I love sim games. So yeah, I'm gonna give that a chance. I want to play that lawnmower. I want to cut grass. I want to know how to cut grass. I want to know how to use all the machines to cut grass. Hell yeah, that's gonna be a lot of fun.
And then the last two games, one of them that was pretty cool was called Young Souls, and it's a pretty cool side scroller, action RPG. It looks pretty cool. It has cooperative play as well, and that's coming March 10th on Game Pass Day One, called Young Souls. It's pretty cool. It's a really cool game. I don't know what Sonic Cypher's doing by showing his T-shirt.
It's for Wandering Dutch.
Oh,
Oh,
I
He'll
was
get
like,
it.
whoa. So, and then finally, the one game that they tried to make people like by making three of them, Final Fantasy 13 Lightning Returns, comes March 3rd to console and PC. So now, on Game Pass, as part of the games that they promised a while ago that were going to come to the service are finally here. So you got, I think last time was Lightning Part 2, Final Fantasy 2. I mean, Final Fantasy 13 2. And now this is 13 through 13.3 Lightning Returns. So those are the games that are coming to Game Pass.
okay, nice.
And
Nice, nice, nice.
and then finally, the Xbox app for PC players got an update, and this is something that I guess a lot of people on the PC side have been asking for, and it has to do with the fact that now any type of installation you have more control over. So what that means is that now you can dedicate where you install your games on Game Pass, meaning whether it's in the C drive, D drive, but exactly where. Before, prior to that, it was literally tucked away somewhere, and now with this update, you're allowed to actually get some of those cool features that they've been asking for. On top of that, you won't have to reinstall your games. You can just easily right click and then hit manage, and then it allows you to either move or repair games. So again, some kind of quality of life things that they're adding that we see in some of the launches, like Steam and the Epic Game Store. So it's pretty cool. Something that's coming down the drain. Sorry, not the drain. Something that it's already coming out, and people that are on PC Game Pass can definitely take advantage of. Cool. So Crazy Lou, do you want any new people we got that you want to give a shout out to before we kind of move on to today's topics of the show?
Today's topic on the show. I don't. Who else is on here? Who else came? Uh, Hold on. Oh, there's somebody new here. Is there? Or am I seeing like blindfolded right now? No, I don't see anybody new. So yeah, let's get on to the new topics. Sour Blue,
Yes.
check the Discord.
Oh, I can't.
Oh, you can't. Oh, okay.
No.
Don't do that.
What?
Nothing.
Oh, sorry. All right.
Anyway, so while Sour Blow checks Discord,
Yes, he does.
and we're gonna start with the first one. So you all know that last week, the 25th annual Dice Awards took place, and in that, Phil Spencer, won his award. He won his award, and he had a very powerful speech, and it was one that a lot of people, say it's kind of Phil because of who he is, and it was about the responsibility that we have as players, as creators, as an industry. And I thought it was very inspiring because, this industry has grown. And of course, as always, what I got from his speech was that, hey, Microsoft does have a responsibility to its players, to its fans, but also as players, we also have responsibility to not engage in flame wars, not to stroke these so-called fantasies of companies fighting this so-called war, and that we need to do better to continue to be more inclusive, and be more diverse, to respect creators. This is some, because we see a lot nowadays, and we were talking earlier about Gran Turismo. You know what happens, right? Every time an Xbox game drops, every time that a PlayStation game drops, we usually get the flame wars where we're seeing people zoom in, putting all these Metacritics, basically sometimes even being disrespectful to the creators who give us these amazing games. And I think that we need to do better. And one of the things that I got from his quote, and this was after his speech, was that from IGN: keep playing, keep using your voice, understand the power of creativity, the power of community, Spencer said. And other things I would just say is let's respect creators. I think it's very often that creation can be kind of weaponized and used in battles between platforms and other things. And I look at everybody who is brave enough to create something, put it out there, and have their peers and industry players play, analyze, and talk about it, what they do. And let's just celebrate the fact that so many great games are coming out, so many creators. Realize that's such a foundation for where this industry is and going. And I thought that was very powerful and very true. Us right here in XBI, we have a channel. We want to talk to people. And I feel that we also have a responsibility to the many people that come and support us and listen to us to, be positive. We're not here to say something is better. Yes, we cover Xbox as the main platform, but we love discussing. We all play PlayStation, we all play Switch, PC, whatever we play on, because we, at the end of the day, we're gamers, right? So I think besides that, we also, top content creators, they do have a responsibility also to be positive because they have this influence over people because before we started XBI, we went to different communities to listen to the people that we like to listen because we trusted them. So, what are your thoughts? And I'll start with Blow on Phil Spencer's speech about the industry, and most importantly about this thing about respecting creators and being, more positive.
Man, I don't know what you guys talking about. My Atari is the best console. Nah, I'm just kidding. No, I mean, yeah. People get caught into in these wars, and I don't know what's the benefit of it. Saying I mean, you go to Twitter, and it's like there's people that waste more time tweeting than actually playing. It seems they're all day
Yeah.
on Twitter, and they're just sometimes there's people that even like they critique like a certain platform, but then you see them playing a game in the same platform that they're critiquing, and you're like, what are you even doing? Like, what is the purpose? Are you just doing this for clicks? What is the purpose of this? And I like that Phil Spencer as the leader of Microsoft. Well, not Microsoft. Well, yes, Microsoft Gaming now, because now he's
Yeah.
he has a
Yep.
new title. I like that he's trying to lead by example. He's a gamer himself. All he does is talk positive about gaming. He's the first person to go out and congratulate, when a PlayStation game does well, when a Nintendo game does well, which is awesome. That's what we want. We don't want, this toxic nonsense just for the hell of it. We want all we want, all we want our platforms to do is provide us with games we love, as polished as possible, as good as possible, and to bring us great value. That's all we want. We don't need to to hear all this nonsense that my console is better because my console has uh two colors, or it has a faster SSD, or no, we don't need that. We just need the games.
Yeah,
Um,
and it's
did,
true.
did someone hop
What you
in?
say. Yeah, we have I think a guest coming on. I think we have
Oh,
the Wandering Dutch coming in. So
Yes, we
let's wait till he
do.
loads. So
oh, nice.
so yeah, no,
Ah,
Sour Blow.
oh.
I think you make some great points, and it's true. One of the things that I loved about Phil, like I was saying before, is that great leaders don't need to tell you that they're great leaders. Great leaders, their actions show it. And
Yes.
like any great leader, your team is what makes you, right? What makes you successful. So if your team is successful, you're always going to be successful. And as you can see, when Phil took over, everything that's so far, he's turned the ship, and he's done an incredible job of basically bringing Xbox to where it's at now, where it's at the forefront of people's minds, and people are coming back to enjoy the Xbox platform. And like at the end of the day, they're all businesses. And yes, Every business wants to be competitive. But that is something that they do. Us as gamers, we need to continue to just demand better, let them know when we don't like certain things, when we let them know when we want other things, and just enjoy the games that we want. But anyway, Dutch, what's up?
What's up, Dutch?
Hey,
Oh,
the Dutch,
goodness.
man.
How are you, man?
How are you,
Sir.
man?
Dutch looks like he can't hear us.
Can you hear us, Dutch?
I can't hear you all. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yes,
we
I
can.
can.
yes,
Yes,
we
we
can.
Yes.
I can't hear you. Just continue going until I get this sound sorted.
Yeah.
Oh, okay,
yeah.
okay. I
If
thought he was
no one's
joking
here to-
around,
Dutch,
actually.
if you- yeah. But yeah, no, crazy. What did you think about Phil's overall speech and his kind of um,
You know,
I guess message to the industry, and overall, well deserved, right?
yeah, he actually did well deserve this. I mean, all the stuff he did on how he brought this console back and how he took charge and how he is making this huge project. I mean, look at this Game Pass. He was the one with the idea for Game Pass, right? He brought it in. He said, "Hey, let's start with this and see how it goes." And he also um brought the idea to Satya Nadella, right? Satya.
Satya
Yeah.
Nadella.
He also
Satya.
brought the idea to Satya since he was hearing Satya talking about the cloud. He said, "Hey, why don't we do cloud gaming?" And pretty much that's where it went off. And seriously, this guy has brought a product that was going down the line in 2014. It wasn't going well, and he brought it back up in just a couple short years, and he made it the way it is today. And it's actually each time getting better. And about his speech, I loved on how he talked on that as leaders they need to do better, and they know they do, just to stop all the toxic stuff and things that are going around, and that he knows that they need to work that better for the community and for us to all be happy in the gaming community. And so yeah, he actually did say a lot of good stuff. He also talked about the developers, on how the developers are working really hard, and he praised them that they're doing an awesome job. So yeah, pretty much what he said about his speech was awesome. He did pretty cool, and I'm really happy that he got this award because he really does deserve it. He actually has done an awesome job with the actors. Another thing, what did Nadella said when he said, "Hey, you're a great partner"? I was like, "What?" When I heard that, what did he mean by that though? Like, you're a great partner. When they were saying his speech, did you hear that, Mr. Joanna Dark, when he said that? What did he mean by that? Is Phil Spencer a partner to them, or what? What, you know?
Well, when everything is about partnerships, right?
Yeah.
And when you can work as a team and you're great,
Yeah. Yeah.
then it shows that they're not just two people working, hey, and just trying to, make money, or they're not
Yeah.
just there to say, hey, we like each other. They consider themselves partners in the sense of that they both have this vision and they both agree on this vision, and they're basically executing on it on all cylinders because of how in unison they are. That's one of the things that's different. And I can tell you, as someone who's worked at Microsoft for 11 years, when Satya came on, is that I can see the vision. I love the culture before, and sometimes that vision wasn't as clear. But when Satya came on and kind of said, hey, this is where we're going, it was like, cool. I know exactly. And same thing, when Phil came on, it's like, this is where Xbox is going. It wasn't like, oh, well, let me backtrack a little bit. No, this is where we're going.
Yep.
And this is where we're going to get. And this is the commitment. And we're seeing everything that he promised little by little, and through all the hardship. Hey, sometimes you got to step on some rakes, right? But now it's going on there. Dutch, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you all perfectly fine now.
Good.
Thank
Welcome.
the Lord.
Awesome.
I would like to add to that Satya Nadella a bit there as well, and obviously thoughts with him with the loss of his son this week.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's now completely clear as to why we've had such leaps and bounds in accessibility over the last few years. Obviously, a lot of people, specifically with the private nature of it, wouldn't have known about his son's condition. Obviously, cerebral palsy's not the kindest, and we have cerebral Paul there in our community, who's an awesome dude. But yeah, it's a horrible disease, and obviously, like I say, shout out to Satya Nadella for that, and hopefully him and his family can grieve correctly for it, and hopefully he's in a better place and now a lot more comfortable. But in terms of partnerships as well, when we're talking about Phil and Satya, I think you've kind of seen their relationship and their partnership really grow over the last few years, and they've got a lot of trust in each other and what they both want to accomplish. And I think they've got the same goals. Obviously, one's in a different sector to the other, but they're very much married together in terms of what they aim to achieve. Satya is looking at the accessibility front on everything to do with Windows and Microsoft and cloud and etc. Whereas Phil Spencer is obviously looking at the entire economy of gaming and how to make that more accessible for the front end. The partnership that they've got across, I think, every idea is kind of borrowing from each other. So Phil will go to him and say, I want to do X, Y, and Z with the gaming sector, and he's going, actually, you know what it is? That there's a few things within that I'd like to implement on the Windows and the cloud infrastructure side. So we'll go and aim for that as well at the same time, and vice versa. I just think the partnership-wise, they're both very much in the same mind frame and track of exactly where they want that company to go. So I think Joanna Dark was onto something there. They both have the same track and the same positioning to where they see the company going forwards and how they want to position themselves. It's not the days of Bill Gates anymore, where it's this unapproachable boss that you feel like you're going to get shouted down from the rooftops. Obviously, he was a very intelligent man, Bill Gates, along with obviously his team that grew Microsoft to where it was and how aggressive they were in the early days. It's a very different look Microsoft now, and it's all about the wider scale, the wider audience, and getting more people connected, getting more people in there, and at an affordable cost across the board. Even if you look at some of their basic stuff, economics-wise, from Microsoft Office, instead of paying a lump sum now, you can literally pay that as a subscription. From OneDrive, cloud storage, again, same thing. It's all bundled in with the Office infrastructure. And then you look on the gaming side, they're doing exactly the same thing. It's a subscription because it's more affordable to people from the ground up. And I remember years ago, people used to pirate Office just to have it in the space in a workplace. And you still see it to this day, but it's so much more affordable now, even on a business front, just to have the basics involved. So now you don't need to pirate it or worry about computers going out of date or software not performing as usual or receiving an email you can't technically open or anything anymore, or Word documents you can't open, because everybody's got access to the basics, and that's what the company wants everybody to have, whether that's on the work side or the gaming side.
It's basically the democratization of gaming and also technology, which is huge. Don't tie it to something. And that's the one thing, Dutch said it perfectly. During the bomber era, the reason Windows Phone never took off is because of the fact that it was all about exclusivity. And what happened was you kind of closed yourself out. And guess what? People didn't come to the thing. So when Satya came, it's like, hey, we have amazing products and services. Why are we just making it for one little bubble? Let's open it up. And it was a smart thing to do.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's their form going forward. Of course, they're still going to have, like I say, on the gaming side, you're still going to have exclusivity things going forwards. And even on the products and services side, naturally, they're going to have exclusive things you can't get elsewhere. But they want as many people as they possibly can to get on their ecosystem. And by ecosystem, I just mean the overall Windows ecosystem. Windows, of course, we know the Xbox UI is just a Windows UI, and vice versa. It is all in one. It is just all encompassing. So they just want everything everywhere, and everybody to get involved. The more people they've got in their ecosystem, the more chance they've got to grow. And obviously, they're going to make that as accessible as physically possible. And that's really how we want things to be. That's what we want. We can never, to be honest, we'll never see Nintendo do that. But what we want PlayStation to be like, PlayStation should also, on their front, be more accessible and be more open source to a point, and a little bit more forgiving with people, should we say, that want to experience things on other platforms and experience products everywhere. It's just better for everybody in the long run. The more people that see your products, the better standing you have in the world.
Yeah, no, it's definitely true. The more people that get to play, it's just great. And what we're seeing is slowly a transition of what we've
Yep.
been used to so many years because, you know, the way things were run. But now the world's changing. Look at the pandemic; it's accelerated a lot of things. And one of the things we're constrained right now is that technology, right? Computers, consoles, that are going to continue, unfortunately, with the stuff that's happening in the world. How can we continue to evolve on all fronts when it comes to technology, software, when we're tied to things that are tangible versus meeting people where they are. And I remember one of the things that I remember about Office and this whole marketing was um, meeting people where they are, meeting their devices, how they work, how they play, how they consume stuff. Not everybody sits in front of a TV because not everyone has that lifestyle. Some people are on the go. Some people, have families. Some people just have life happening. So how do you continue to enjoy something when you can only access it in one area versus meeting their user base to there? Silent Cipher, what do you think about the overall speech and everything from the Dice Awards and Phil Spencer talking about, being more proactive and having a responsibility as a creator, as a player, to do better.
I I think it's great. Like it's very much Phil Spencer at its core. Every time that we've had Phil Spencer out there, he's very earnest. He's very true in the things that he says, and it's great to see. It's like it comes from an actual gamer, right? It's not just a suit. It's someone that very much is interested in seeing how things advance forward. So on that side of things, I think it's great. It's like he comes to it with a level of humanity that a lot of people don't when it comes to comments and stuff like that. And I think he approaches it and brings it forward. Like I'm happy that we have people like him in the industry because this is the best way for us to move forward and to include everyone, right?
Yeah.
Like whether it be the accessibility, whether it be just being more inclusive in general. Again, like he said in the past, he wanted to get two plus billion gamers, right? That was the whole
Uh,
thing.
I think they want to reach the goal to 4.5 billion. That's their goal.
4.5 billion.
That's
Yeah,
the goal they
so
want to reach. Yeah.
in a situation like that, how do you get those gamers, right? Like you make a broad approach. You make it so your programs, your systems and stuff are available across the board, and you make it so it's approachable by everyone. Like
Yeah.
it just makes sense.
Yeah. It's the thing is that what Microsoft has been doing, and they've been doing a really good job at it, is that they're getting ways for us to access easier to their stuff, and that's the stuff we need to be. I mean, like, hey, let's do this real quick. Like, for example, if I grab my cell phone, like we were doing the other day with Microsoft OneNote, we were doing
Mhm.
all around OneNote, and we got information written down, all that and stuff in there. Access is really quick, real quick. Click on it, get into it, and that's what they want to do. They want to get people to have quick access to games. Like, let's go like what Netflix does. You want to watch movies? Go on the app, open it up. You got a big library. You want to watch this movie? Click on it and just start watching. So yeah, I think the whole idea with what they're doing is pretty awesome, and I just hope that everything marches well. And that speech he made, seriously, on the whole gaming community, and that's something that they really have to work on it, and he knows that they do, and that's the to kill and try to destroy that toxicity. That's the word, right? Toxicity is the word, right?
Toxicity.
Toxicity. Yeah.
Yeah, they want they had they even said it, and when I heard that, I was like, man, I'm happy that they're really paying attention to that, and that they are going to focus on that. They're going to try to attack that. because really it's an important issue that it needs to get fixed, and for the gamers to be happy that there's no bullying, that there's no attacks, that there's none of that stuff going on. And so yeah, I'm happy that he did address that. And also to the developers, because a lot of people do attack the developers, and what he said, that developers are right now putting all those games, and they're brave enough to put these games at risk in the work condition, because right now developers are having a hassle to make games because of the COVID situation. They're working from home. It's not the same thing for you working side to side with the person that you working at home remotely. Hey, let me fix this here. Send it over here. Let me check this out. Oh, this has a problem. Send it back. It's crazy. It's crazy, you know. And really, I'm happy he did address that. And as a leader, he did say that so people can know that everybody's having a hassle, and they're doing their best to put the games out there for us to enjoy. I'm really happy he did say that. Really, I am.
Sure.
Yeah. I'm sorry, I came back. I had to step away for a second.
No
Sourblog,
problem, no problem.
did Sourblog go yet?
Yeah, I just see that. I
Yeah,
think he did.
I
Yeah,
think I was
yeah,
first.
he did. Yeah,
Yeah, so great conversation. All excellent points.
yeah,
Just to kind of wrap it up real quick. Yeah, many of us wonder sometimes why we don't get gameplay from developers. And one of the key things is because guess what? The minute they give gameplay just to kind of either get us excited or get some feedback, guess what happens? We have individuals that want to go there and make these weird videos, put it on their phone, use all these little cameras, and basically start these flame wars
yeah.
versus saying, "Oh wow, this looks good," but hey, you know what? Where can I provide feedback? You never hear somebody say, "Hey, where can I go to provide feedback so I can make sure that the game that I'm excited for, maybe either needs a
Yeah.
delay?" Never. All you see is, "Oh look, oh look, let me put this game from 2017 and compare it to a new game." It's nonsense, and it's tiring sometimes because
Yeah, it does.
the sad part is sometimes it's grown ass men.
Yeah.
And it's just like, really? I was like, I expect that maybe from my 6-year-old, but I definitely don't expect it from 30 or 40-year-old men and women. But yeah, so let's move on to the next topic, and let's talk about the Steam Deck. I don't know if everyone here is excited as I am about the Steam Deck. It's been getting some great reviews. I've been listening to anyone from Lioness to um, looking at some of the reviews I think that were on there from Miles Dampier, who had a great review, and other reviewers there. And one of the things that had me, thinking, right, with the release of the Steam Deck and the first time it was revealed, should Nintendo be a little bit scared? And let's take away the fact that yes, Nintendo has one of the most iconic IPs, but do you see the Steam Deck as carving out its own market, but also maybe gunning a little bit? And if Nintendo doesn't come out with something that's comparable in the sense of performance and being able to shine with their games, could the Steam Deck take away some of that mind share from the handheld market? And let's start with our guest, Dutch.
The grand scheme of things, no. The price to invest in the model that's actually worthwhile is the same price as an actual console. It's very much in its current state, and we have to remember as well, Steam Deck isn't in its first actual iteration. I think for a first iteration of a mobile PC, as it were, which is technically what it is, it's a very good job. They've done a very good job with it. I don't think the mindshare is going to be there immediately. I think the cost, the investment cost for somebody to just jump into that over a Switch, for instance, just if you're looking at it from a gamer's perspective, Steam Deck £500 for one that's worthwhile, because obviously you want the higher SSD amounts in there to be able to store games in the first place. And as we know with SSDs, the more packed that they get, the less efficient that they actually work. So you actually don't want them full. You want a little bit of breathing space on them. So yeah, first iteration's brilliant. Obviously, one of the things that I dislike about it, and I think a lot of people have kind of nitpicked on it as well, is just not the size of it, because the size obviously is great to have a screen that big, but I think the controller layout and the way it is can possibly do with some refinements. I think that's one of the key aspects that I think they could probably change with time. But then again, remember when they introduced the Steam controller when that first came out, and that was, dear God, the touchpad trackpad thing. Yeah, No. They like. I mean, they'd like to try and innovate. I have to give them that, but it wasn't it. Traditional controllers, but um, it's a great first attempt. I won't be in a rush to pick one up immediately. I want to see what people with it are going to experience and how they find it before I think about investing in one first. Um, there's going to be a lot of updates, a lot of firmware updates. There's obviously a lot of people that are going to just essentially jailbreak it and root a Microsoft OS on there immediately so that can just operate whatever they like as opposed to just the Steam big picture, as it were. So, yeah, I think if it was more open platform, it would probably do better, personally. I think they've probably limited it to Steam currently just to reduce the kind of overheads of the processing that's required, essentially. But yeah, it's a great first start. I'm looking forward to seeing more of as opposed to the reviewers, the critics overview. I'm looking forward to seeing more of the general public overview of it. That's usually where I get my takes. As much as I love reviewers, and of course, the likes of ACG, who very much aligns with my thought pattern on games anyway, I'd still rather listen to the average Joe talk about his experience than I would a reviewer, a critic that's looking at the finer details. If somebody is playing it and they're really happy with it and very enthused with it, and it's like really enjoying their time, from the general public consensus, that weighs more to me than someone who's going to look at that in the finer details and nitpicking on it. Because those that are nitpicking on it are intentionally trying to find really defining faults with a service, as it were, than someone who's just picking it up to enjoy games. And if those games look and perform well to the average Joe, then you know you've got a winner on your hands. So I'll be looking more forward to your thoughts on it, Mr. Joanna Dark, than I am any reviewers, because I want to see the average gamer's perspective.
Yeah, no, on the pricing, I look at this, I have the Switch OLED, and the Switch OLED is $349, 64 gigs. So for $50 more, I can get a Steam Deck per se, and this is just general, and it still comes with 64. I can still put an SD card just like I do on the Switch, but there are some games, and you're right on the fact that right now, because it uses Proton, it's a little limited. But let's just say it wasn't. Say a lot of games that were verified were there. Yeah. You do have a lot of games that attract some casual, even kids, which is usually those free to play like the Fortnites and so forth. So in a sense, I see it, but I do understand at the end of the day, Nintendo has Zelda, Animal Crossing, and IP's king. So as much as that, but my thing is with the Steam Deck and a lot of these devices like the Aya Neo and the One X Player, which is one that I have coming in soon as well. I'm just looking that I want to see Nintendo eventually do more. I understand.
Yeah, 100 million%. And you know what it is? I don't want to see Nintendo do more for them. I want to see Nintendo do more for their poor developers who have had to code on mobile hardware for God knows how long.
Yes.
Like, give them a goddamn decent console to code for. Like, something with a little bit of power. Like, my phone, the S21 Ultra, has more power in it. Probably triple, if not quadruple more power than a singular Switch. If not more than that. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, so before I go to Silent Cypher, do you think if things like the Steam Deck and these handhelds and Nintendo Switch continue to be successful as handheld, do you think we see Microsoft? Do you think we see a Vita 2 as a way of coming into the mobile space and kind of like those devices are comparable? Meaning, like for instance, I have my desktop here, and the way I look at the Steam Deck is it's a companion, meaning I can sit on the couch. Do you see maybe with the success of hopefully the Steam Deck and some of these devices that are going, do you maybe see Microsoft finally come into the foray, or even PlayStation maybe revisit the Vita 2?
I think with the increased focus on Microsoft trying to break into the Asian market and recoup some of that lost love from many years ago, and you've seen them now absolutely fall head over heels for the Series S. And every day you see more and more of the Japanese and Chinese market and buying Series S's, posting about them, posting about Game Pass every day, etc. They're starting to rebuild that. The more that they build trust with the Japanese developers and Chinese developers, I think their focus, because the cloud gaming to them is their breakthrough into the Japanese Chinese market. Obviously, as much as you want consoles to succeed over there, in the grand scheme of things, compared to the mobile market over there, it is absolutely nothing. The mobile market is phenomenal over in the Asian territory, and I think that's why you see Switch selling like millions upon millions of units per month over in the Asian territory. So I 100% expect that with the further growth of cloud gaming, streaming, and technologies, that Microsoft will probably be already looking at ways and means of expanding the Asian side more. That might trickle then through to the Western market. I think designing a handheld for them would be more focused on what do the Asian market want from a handheld first, and then think reversed to then say, right, okay, now we'll do it for the Western market, as opposed to let's build it for the West and then hope that the East pick it up.
Which is not the way, because the West is more. I mean, Japan, that market is more mobile there, and the rest of the world is more. Over here, it hasn't caught on as much as we think it is yet.
Exactly. So I foresee them doing it, but I very much think they'll look at where the Asian market is first and say, right, what do they want from a mobile device? What do they want from a handheld device? What's made the Switch so popular? And what can we do more than the Switch to really kind of get better than that? First of all, you look at the battery life on the Switch itself. Right, okay, you usually get anywhere between 2 and 4 hours if you're lucky on a good mobile Switch day. On the opposite side, okay, what can we do to make sure that the controllers last longer and the stick drift on these smaller modules are better than that in the Nintendo? How are we going to improve the screen? Is it going to be a 1080p screen, or we're going to go for a small OLED screen that you used to have in even the older Samsung Galaxies? Even if you look at the older panels, they were still kind of 2K screens or QLEDs that were built into the older S7s even. So there's so many areas that can refine and make better, and this is why we kind of want to shake Nintendo, because it's like some of these you're cheaping out on these parts. Like the actual cost to produce the Nintendo is so minimal that the actual amount of profits they're getting per unit is obscene, and that's another thing that they can be doing. If you really want your market to take off, Nintendo, well beyond what anybody else can do, like invest in your hardware, like much more than you have, and you will. And I think Microsoft and Sony will see that. The PSP, for example, is, if you even look at it now, the PSP, in retrospect, is leagues above what the Switch was in terms of its screen, like the actual screen. Even
the Vita OLED was amazing.
Yeah, the clarity on it, the controller, the sound, the connectivity. It had a network. It had PlayStation Network built into it that worked. You didn't need a mobile app to use the party chat.
Oh my god, yes.
You even had maps on there that you can access, like GPS.
You had a web browser, Nintendo, the basics. Yeah.
I think with Nintendo is that they're very traditional, and I think the fact that they were toy makers and card makers gets in their way, and I think they try to treat their audience a little bit too much like babies, instead of respecting their user base.
I think what they forget now is that the primary audience that they once had as kids has grown, even though they still love them, have grown up. That same core audience that's purchasing the Nintendo Switches are the same core audience that grew up with them, with Super Nintendos and Game Boys. They're the same people, but they've grown up with them, and that same audience, for some reason, are just too damn shy to ask for more. Like, demand better. We seen them the other day saying, "Oh, we're going to take off X, Y, and Z games from like really old stuff, and you're never going to be able to buy them again. Like your DS games and things like that, they're all gone. We're just terminating that store," and they all just put shame underneath the comments. I was like, shame. Like, what is that? It like.
And
What
and
are you doing?
it ends up me purchasing Mario 12, 15 times like I've owned it already. Or what they did with Mario, Super Mario Land, 3D Land,
Yeah.
where they said, "Hey, a digital game has an expiration date." I was like, "What?" I was like,
Yeah.
"When?" Whenever I heard, I was
Yeah.
like, "I've never seen that." I was like, "You might as well call it an NFT."
Yeah. So no, I do foresee both Sony and Microsoft looking at avenues to explore in the handheld market. I think it just boils down to whether or not they see it's going to be a good return of investment. Microsoft may end up just trying to produce a handheld that is focused around producing the best mobile cloud gaming version.
Yep.
Specifically, if you have again look at Asian territory and the network infrastructure is well beyond anything that we've got in the Western civilization. Like they are streaks ahead. Like 2, 3, 4 gig networks, 5G pretty much everywhere, 4G everywhere. Like their mobile infrastructure over there is leagues above a lot of Western civilization. But they love that kind of technology. Like they are built around it. And that's the one thing I think they're going to do. Potentially, instead of just expecting people to have expensive phones that's going to be able to run it, look at providing them a dedicated mobile cloud device that's going to be able to do it with a built-in controller that you don't need to buy separately and don't have to take a controller with you. Something that's just an all-in-one unit that plays cloud gaming.
I would say, hey, talk to the Surface team, because the Surface team has done an amazing job with form factor. And I look at the Surface Duo, which where I love doing, using touchscreens on the screen and there. And I would say, yeah, why don't I would love to see a device that's just specifically for streaming, really cheap, really well built, and then maybe down the road, for the power users, give them the ability to have one that can run natively some of those games.
Yeah, I mean, initially, the greatest thing initially about having a cloud-only based mobile device is that you don't have to worry so much about the RAM. You don't have to worry about memory. You don't have to, the only thing you need is the processing power and a really strong network chip in there. Like a really strong network chip. As long as you've got the kind of basics down, memory doesn't factor into it at all. You don't have to worry about a GPU at all. It's some of the most costly things that you would put into that device are automatically ruled out. You don't need to worry about them. You don't need to worry about these extortionately priced chips in there. You could use just some generic mobile hardware, but just make sure that network chip's up to scratch, and you've got a decent CPU just to be able to run it at a decent speed, and you'll be all right. You'll be good. Cool.
I don't know if in your area is available, Dutch, but I tried GeForce, the NVIDIA service, and that was I was surprised. And mind you, this was still in the early times, but it was still beta. And I look at that, and I just imagine, 10 years from now, the ability to play, and that's how I played. I think.
Remember that old streaming
on live?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I used to use that all the time on the Galaxy S3, I think it was at the time. On live was so far ahead of the competition, and then all of a sudden they're just like, right, we're gonna have to cancel this down. I was like, that is such a shame because it worked so well.
I purchased an NVIDIA Shield, and I had NVIDIA's online, and it was amazing. This is before I bought a PC, and I was just at the moment, I was in the military, so I was always moving, so I didn't have a time to build. So, and I was just like, wow, this is amazing. And I can imagine as our infrastructure continues to improve, right now you can get like a 3080 performance with RTX, and it's just like, wow, if you have a good connection, you're like, wow, this is pretty good. And I was just surprised. I mean, I played Cyberpunk the PC version, then streamed it to GeForce Now, and I was playing on my Duo, and I was like, oh, this is dope. And and Cyberpunk wasn't the most stable game, when it came out, but
Yeah.
I'm a big champion for streaming, but Cypher, what are your thoughts on the Steam Deck? If I put Forza on it, will you play it?
If you put Forza on it, I will play it all.
You'll
day.
play anything. If I put it in the trash can, you'll probably jump in the trash can, won't you?
I'm jumping on doing console streaming all the time on Forza. It's so good. No, with the
Are you
Steam
better than
Deck-
Forza, Erwin? I'm starting a fight.
No, I'm not. I'm not.
Oh,
I will gladly play some
Oh.
races, but I'm not gonna try and say that I'm better because I know I'm not. No, the Steam Deck seems great, and I think it's cool. I don't know, the console side of things personally for myself, in a use case scenario, right? The xCloud, the game streaming stuff like that has worked the best for me. I don't think I think it goes back to what Dutch is saying, right? Is like a $400 to $500 cost investment to get into this. I don't need it. Like, I've got a computer if I want to play those games and stuff. I don't know if I
But
necessarily
do you
want to
have a
bring them on
computer?
the go.
Last time I checked, you still have
Yeah.
a floppy disk.
Yeah,
My computer
couldn't
still
play. What was the
plays.
game?
Hold on. My
You were playing
computer still
Oregon Trail
plays.
the other day.
Whoa,
computer still
I
plays-
used to play that game.
My computer still plays Command and Conquer Remastered, so we're good. It's
That's
fine.
Okay.
No, I just I don't know. In the place I am in my life, honestly, like, unless I'm sitting on a couch playing on a console, I don't play a lot of the PC game side of things. I've got a massive Steam library from before I shifted, but it just it's like, as soon as I could game stream or xCloud stream material or games and stuff from Xbox, I've got what I'm playing. I've got a sizable library where I'm at, so the idea of investing into like a $500 console as a portable just doesn't jive for me. In regards to Nintendo, though, I would say, though, like, because we mentioned that and we were talking about that, I honestly think that if Nintendo just came out and said, "Hey, we're going to make a graphically intensive, very strong, powerful system for like $400 or $500, and yes, it's going to be mobile, and yes, you can handheld it, you can deck it like you can the Switch," I think it'd sell just fine.
Oh, 100%. They would
Oh,
eat
yeah.
it up.
And
And you've got to think as well that what the developers are capable of doing on such poor hardware currently.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yeah.
just imagine what that talent can do with a decent system behind them.
It's
Imagine Mario in
Yeah.
4K 60 just stomping on Goombas. Woo.
No,
Oh,
100%. Like, I
Zelda,
would be
Link,
You
Breath of
wouldn't
the
have no
Wild.
Pokemon issues this time around, would you? Legends
I-
Arceus wouldn't have pop in
There-
for like every time you turn the camera. Pop, pop, pop,
Oh,
pop,
yeah.
pop, pop.
you guys,
Yeah.
you guys have not seen the video though. There's a video on YouTube where people do ray tracing on Zelda. It's a whole different game.
yeah,
It's
I saw it.
beautiful. Oh my god, Mario! I gotta look for those videos and send you all. It looks beautiful. You're like,
Breath of
whoa,
the Tracing?
Yeah, if Zelda did that, it would be a beautiful game. It's a different
Yeah.
game. It's amazing.
I think
how beautiful it
Nintendo's
looks.
the potential of the developers would unlock a whole new level of
Yeah.
things.
Yes.
What they can do. Imagine an Animal Crossing with more powerful to be able to
Ooh.
really realize that social game, or an F-Zero. Please, I would love another F-Zero.
Or,
Yeah,
or a Smash.
Yeah, like Nintendo fans are very loyal, right? So like I really don't think the dollar point is a concern, right? Like, if you put an extra $100 or whatever, it doesn't matter. It's Nintendo. People will
Yeah.
buy it. Like, it doesn't make any sense that they're kind of like short-legging themselves compared to the competition. Like, yes, it's less expensive, so it's more of an impulse buy. But at the same time, at this point, getting a console in general is hard enough as it is. People will buy whatever. It doesn't matter what the price is at this point, it feels like.
Yeah, no,
You're
I
on
was
mute.
sorry. Huh? I'm on mute. Give me a second.
No, no,
No, sorry. I was watching that Zelda and it just got like, oh my God, that looks amazing.
Yeah, I
But
know.
yeah, I was like, whoa. Sarah,
Told
what
you.
about you? What about you? We understand, you like playing this game called Star Citizen, but would you get a Steam Deck if that game actually existed?
I actually I pre-order it. Well, I got it for pre-order. I'm waiting for the for the message. I guess I'm probably gonna be second wave. And I think, the Steam Deck, I don't think it's a direct competition with Nintendo Switch in no way. I think the intention is for like an entirely different, kind of public. However, it's it's a gaming PC portable console at a very affordable price. So I think it's gonna sell pretty good, but not in the capacity of like a Nintendo Switch or anything like that. But I think they are gonna sell a good amount where they will feel great about sales. Um, Real quick regarding the a portable console for Xbox. Um, I think like Dutch said, cloud kind of mobile makes the most sense. Uh, Something else that would be pretty intriguing that if they can do, it will be wonderful. If it's somehow they can make that Xbox Series S chip fit in a in a mobile device, like in a portable device, that would definitely be a great option, because that way developers don't need to change their development. They're just kind of like, it's almost like they're developing for the Series S, but that will be on a on a portable device, and it will be a very powerful portable device. But I think that's something that right now I don't see them doing it. Maybe down the line, I hope they would, because it would be nice to have a kind of like a Steam Deck device, maybe a little bit smaller, but with the power of a Series S, that would be insane. And then you have, for example, the cards, the memory cards, which you can just slot them and move your games from one device to another. I think that would be like, that would be awesome if they can do something like that.
Like the SSD expansion, but that would add some, like, that would be weird to kind of have it sticking out from somewhere.
Like
No,
the
I
old
mean,
Game Boy cartridge.
yeah,
Just stick it in the top.
Like a little slot. Oh, it'd have like a
yeah,
little slot that just
like a
goes from
little,
each
yeah,
end.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So you want the Series SS, super small.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Series
yeah,
P.
yeah. Series
The
P.
Series
Terrible
P.
at naming stuff.
Series portable.
I think PC side, they're inventing a lot in ARM, so we're seeing that technology kind of hopefully scale as ARM is becoming a little bit more prominent. They're running so many different things. So even with these current stuff that in the Steam Deck, there's RDNA 2, this kind of what AMD does usually when they have their CPU and GPU together. Right now, we're just seeing
Super
that
Sam, super
the beginnings.
resolution.
No, I'm talking about just in general the technology
Oh,
of
okay,
how
okay,
they're
okay.
merging.
Yes.
Imagine when there's no chip shortages and people are making some of these things, the next iterations, and how they're gonna, it's gonna just be amazing. So hopefully we can maybe get that X-Boy, whatever people have been calling it.
Yeah, it's insane
But
how technology is, advancing at the rate it's going.
yeah. Oh yeah, it's just
Yeah.
it's incredible. It's trust me, thinking about all the contraptions that I purchased, looking on YouTube to how I can hack my my Wii U controller to maybe have it more portable. Trust me, it's great. Crazy Lou, I know that in the Dominican Republic they don't have clouds, but what about the Steam Deck? What's up with
Oh
that?
Lord, you're gonna call my ass for the clouds. Same as the chimney inside the house,
Do
right?
they?
Inside the
Yeah,
wall, right?
they have the chimneys in.
Yeah.
Yes. So you're good.
Judge, do you need a chimney in your wall?
No, I've got an electric fireplace, so I'm good.
What did I think about the Steam Deck? Oh man, I'm gonna see something though. It's good that they're coming up with this, and it could be a competition. I mean, I look up, like I said, I want everybody to have a competition for them to do better, because if that Steam Deck, for example, does really good, it's gonna get Nintendo like, hey, what's going on here, guys? I mean, look, Steam Deck is doing well, it's selling well, and it's competing with us. So yeah, I know this is the first time they did a mobile a portable console. I mean, so let's see how it goes, and I hope they do actually well, so competition starts running for these guys. And for me, purchase Steam Deck. I'm not a big portable guy. But if I can, if like I'm gonna if somebody gets it, I would like to try it. If I like it, and if I do like it, and I do feel comfortable about it, then yes, I mean I'm gonna buy it. Be like, yes, let me buy this. I'm gonna enjoy it because I'm gonna get ticket everywhere. Another thing though, but you were talking about competition, they also got Game Pass in there. So Steam Deck is gonna carry Game Pass around. So yes, that is, and it's gonna
Well,
install the games, right?
No.
well,
And
right
it,
now there's no native support for Game Pass. They haven't made any for Proton.
Yeah.
oh, they have made it. Oh, okay.
Not yet. Gabe Newell kind of said that he would be, he would love to work with Microsoft
Yes.
and
Okay.
hopefully, maybe make it, where it's either Steam or a version. And Phil has talked in the past of, how he likes the
Yeah.
Steam Deck. So maybe we can see a version of the application that maybe
I think they'll
works with
sideload
Proton.
the Game Pass app onto the Steam Deck.
Yeah.
You could do that too.
Yes.
So yeah, I mean, if they're gonna get that stuff in there, I mean, that's gonna really put Nintendo on the move, because seriously, Game Pass subscribers are going up and people are actually enjoying it. So yeah, if you're gonna have a portable console that is comfortable, I mean, probably it's gonna be comfortable. I don't know if it's comfortable because I've not hold it, but it looks comfortable, and it's gonna compete with you with better graphics and stuff. Nintendo, you're gonna have to take a look at that. So let's hope it does well, because really I want Nintendo to do better. I mean, after again, I sent this video looking at Zelda. I'm like, damn, if Nintendo does this, it's just gonna be beautiful. If Nintendo like upgrades themselves to compete against Team Deck. So yeah,
It's like having a teacher like the teacher in a classroom where you've got this one kid who's super smart but isn't really trying, and
Yeah.
it's so frustrating, and you're just like, I know you've got it in you, just
Yeah.
come on.
yes,
Yeah.
that's how
That's
I
exactly
feel,
what
man.
Nintendo is.
Yeah, yes,
It's
that's how I feel.
a kid with a lot of potential that just doesn't care.
Sitting in the corner, just slacking off, not really
Yes.
too concerned. Yeah.
Yeah, just letting
Yes.
everybody else get the plaudits. Yeah, it's all right. I'll do well anyway. It's okay. I don't need to
Yeah.
exert myself.
I'll get my B plus average. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah, every time Nintendo rumors start of new consoles, we all get crazy, and then all of a sudden it's like, here it is, and you're like, not even close to what I was thinking. It's
Yeah.
like, why Nintendo? Why come on, give us a modern day console, please. Cool. So now we are coming to the final topic of the show, and this has to do with the infamous Spartacus leak, and this came from Giant Bomb, Grub Snacks, and Jeff Grubb claimed to have obtained new information on Sony's yet to be announced subscription service. It's probably getting pretty close to this actually launching. Something's probably going to happen, but by the end of this month. But I don't think that necessarily means publicly. I think in terms of internal milestones or where the service needs to be, says Grubb. So I know we kind of talked about this before with Mr. Badbit, and we kind of got into the conversation that, many people want, some people want Sony to kind of have a Game Pass type one-for-one service. And one of the things that we kind of talked about with Mr. Badbit was that maybe it's not going to be a exact one-to-one right away, but what it might be is that it might take elements from Xbox Game Pass, from maybe Nintendo Online, and then of course what Sony currently has with PS Now. So my question to you, and I'm going to read these tiers to you, right? Is there's 3 tiers. There's the essentials tier, which is $10, and that includes basically that's like having PS Plus. You get the cloud saves, you get monthly free games, and you get some discounts, and that starts at 10. If you want to upgrade to the next tier, which is $13, you can actually it's like PS Now, where you can download some of the games that are currently there. So think of it as just the same service that you have right now with PS Now if you subscribe on there, but you won't get cloud streaming. So it's all downloadable games. When you get to the premium one for $16, it's similar to think of like EA Play, right? These games that are in the vault. Then you get game trials, which I know Dutch covered about that. I had a super chat about that. And to me, I guess the game trials is interesting is we saw it with Death Stranding. We saw demos. And my super chat maybe didn't, provide as much context, but what if Sony uses it with some newer IPs that they create? To kind of give a taste, because one of the key things that we've been talking since the launch of the PS5 is it's hard to drop $70, right? People drop $70 on Returnal, and some people, because of the way that game was marketed, felt they were misled, and were like, "Oh man, I didn't know it was going to be this." So, could the game trials be another way of kind of helping Sony to an extent of saying, "Hey, look, we have some new franchises you want to try out. You can try it for X amount of hours, and then similar to take something from Game Pass, you can save maybe whatever 10%, and then what happens is in your mind, hey, I'm saving 10%, so yes, technically I'm paying $60, but the games are always 70. And then the last thing is that they're gonna have they could offer classic games, and that's what I'm interested in. Like, what classic games? Are you giving me Infamous? Are you giving me Resistance, Patapon, Legend of Dragoon, all these classic PlayStation games? So, Dutch, I know you covered this. What are your thoughts on Spartacus overall? Would you sign up day one on a specific game? Is there a specific game first that if you saw from the classic library would say, hey, I'm gonna sign up day
Not the
one?
classic one. I mean, we've been absolutely spoiled by Xbox and the fact that their backwards compatibility is leagues above that of PlayStation, and offering a classic service as a subscription cost as opposed to just providing that classic service, which is essentially being able to just play your old games, which a lot of people still have, because it's either if the resale value on it is through the roof, so you're not going to sell it because it's going to be worth fortunes anyway, or people have got extensive libraries because they're collectors and they can't use them other than on the old machinery, which has an expiry date. And they don't want to use that all the time because it will just eventually fail and you can't fix it. So they need to just do more on a classic stance that doesn't cost the consumer first. I think that is more of a kick in the nuts to people who want actual backwards compatibility without paying a service for it.
So to speculate, do you think they're taking the Nintendo Online approach with this, with backwards compatibility?
100%. Yeah. Obviously, we've seen for that in Nintendo Online. Thankfully, Nintendo Online's still pretty damn cheap for what it is for a year.
$20.
But they get a decent little emulator section in there. It doesn't do more than it is. It's just here's the old games, here's the old platform, this is how it looks, this is how it plays. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, it's nice to have, but I've never personally actually went on and played any of the games because, I mean, you buy a Switch for the new stuff. Yeah, you can go on every now and again, but I'd love the option in a Switch to be able to use the old cartridges and things that I've got lying around. Like, I can't go and, like, Golden Sun isn't on there because I don't have a Game Boy Advanced emulator.
I would love Golden Sun.
Yeah, it's the GOAT. It is the GOAT, needs a return, and I still don't know why Nintendo haven't went back to that yet.
It's like Nintendo loves but hates money.
Yeah.
Because my credit card would be literally swiping, give me Golden Sun.
Yeah. Limited edition, collector's edition, I don't care what it is, give me.
I throw it at the screen, I'm like, Nintendo, NFC, you take NFC?
Yeah, I've still got, like I say, I've still got the Golden Sun cartridge. I've got like a case full of Game Boy Advance cartridges that I can't use. But yeah, on the other side, I just feel like they need to offer more in that service. I think you're right in the sense that right now, because of the way that PlayStation market their games, and people expect all of them to be absolute bangers, even from the casual point of view.
Yep.
They expect them to be mega hits every time, and they kind of don't foresee them being let down. Like you mentioned, with the likes of Returnal, when it came out, it wasn't what a lot of the casuals thought it would be. And because it was so hard and frustrating for those casual players, and we've got to remind ourselves, not everybody is a Souls or roguelite fan, and those games themselves take a lot of patience. And your casual market just want to get in, relax, and play a game. And the likes of Horizon, you can do that. The likes of even The Last of Us, you can do that. Yeah, it's a little bit sneaky and there's some killing and stuff involved in it, but it's still very much a casual can play that game. Casuals can't play Returnal, and casuals can't play Souls games. Like, they aren't for casuals. Those are for people that play games intensely, that have a lot of time on their hands and are very patient. That's not a family man that just sits down after work for an hour and plays a game. It's not a Souls player.
No, it's so it's like what is it? It's like what CrossFit. It's a lifestyle.
Yeah, it's 100%. It's a lifestyle. It's something you choose to get invested in. So yeah, I foresee certain games potentially, like you mentioned before, certain games being potentially hurt by the trial system there, because they might lose more sales on some of those games than they would have otherwise gained from people going, I'm going to buy that, that looks interesting, and then reselling it and so on and so forth.
Do you think with the launch of the PSVR eventually, do you think maybe game trials can be something good for the PSVR to kind of get that
VR
attach
can
rate?
be much better. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be much better for VR.
With the game trials, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, even going back to the original kind of Oculus library and things like that, you could download just little tasters of games to be able to see whether or not it was worth buying or anything like that, little demos, and that is the best method for the likes of VR. VR games are hit and miss depending on the developer. And by hit and miss, I don't mean the game is terrible, but it's usually to do with the way that they've done the motion in the game, or how much it can make you nauseated, or how much it can strain the eyes, or the quality of the game itself in terms of its frame pacing or frame rate. VRs are very much, the development team have to be on point, or the user experience is ruined. So I think game trials for VR games, perfect. That is exactly what needs to happen for VR games, because if someone finds a particular game nauseating and they've just spent 30, 40 on a VR game and they can't play it because it physically makes them sick or gives them migraines because the frame pacing's off or the frame rate's off, that is something that someone's going to say, well, the game probably is good, but I can't play it. Where game trials will come in perfect, because then they can say, I'd love to be able to do it, but it just doesn't work like with me.
And one of the things that it just keeps sticking out like a sore thumb is that middle one, the essentials, right? And one of the things that we kind of were talking with Mr. Badbit is that he kind of made it, he kind of educated us, was the fact that PS Now is a PS4 streaming service. And they stress it. That's why they Shadow Warrior. My thing is, why as someone as a PS5 owner, as I upgrade, right? How is that middle one enticing? Because when I look at it, I was like, well, it's what I have now, and some people don't like some of the games that are offered within that tier. So is it it looks like it's there just to give you the illusion of choice and value, but it just feels like out of it. I mean, thoughts on that?
I absolutely agree. I think they need to take, in this instance, they need to do another thing that Microsoft have done, and have the what do you call it again? Where it's on both platforms, you can play it on, depending on the one you have, you get that one.
Dual entitlement.
Yes. Well, not even just that. The again, if you've got it on the Xbox One X, but you play it on the Series S, no matter which version you have, you get
play anywhere.
Kind of. No, that was another wording for it, wasn't there? And I can't think of the wording that they used.
I'm forgetting it too.
I think you understand what I'm saying, though. So essentially, the version
cross-buy. Is it cross-buy or cross-play? Okay.
No. It's gonna kill the brain, but never mind. Yeah, depending on the system you have on PS Now or on PS Plus, whatever it is, if a game comes out and it has a next gen version of it, no matter what,
Smart
if
delivery.
you've got yes,
Yeah.
if you've got if you've got the previous gen, then you play the previous gen version. If you've got the next gen, then you should automatically get the next gen version. Like none of this, like even going into Shadow Warrior 3 that's going into the service on PS Now soon. There's a PS4 version, no
It's the
PS5.
loophole, the wording that it's a PS4 service. Do you think that's a wording that they're trying to sneak away, kind of like with the whole Horizon, like, hey, we missed our launch window, so
Yeah.
we needed to charge you?
100%. 100%. They need to get away from that, and they need to just implement a section where if you buy a game, if you play it on the PS4, you play on the PS4 version. If you've installed it on the PS5, it's got the PS5 version. None of this, you have to buy this version, which is $20 more to be able to play both of them. And scrap that. Just like instead of just nitpicking and penny pinching the consumer for absolutely no reason, specifically when it comes to services, and saying, nah, you need to, if you want to play PS4 games, you're going to get the PS4 version on your PS5. Like, then what? Then where's the benefit?
Imagine buying a new Android or iPhone and being told that you have to pay a premium to use your bank app that you used to use, or any of the features that your bank gives you. It's crazy. Even on the PC, like, hey, I understand it's an upfront investment, but if I had to pay a developer or a company, a publisher, every time because I did my 3080, why am I getting penalized? Because I want to get the best edition.
Getting the brand new mobile phone, and then instead of because you're on the previous operating system, so they install Android 3, you have to pay to get Android 9 or 11, whatever it's up to. Like I can't use that because I need to upgrade to this, but then I can't use that because that runs on this. Like, no, just scrap that. Like, stop that altogether. Like, Sony needs to stop penny pinching. It's such a finite thing. It's what people say, "Oh, but it's what's that? It's like $10, like, to support the developer." $10 does not support the developer. That doesn't even see the developer. The developer does not see a penny of that $10. Not a penny. Nothing. It makes no sense to just charge someone for such a basic thing. And the implementations that they've done for this cross-generation upgrade that they've got in the upgrade tax that they've got isn't even worthwhile upgrades when you see them in comparison. Like, it's DualSense and 3D audio support. And then what?
I mean, it's and again, this is not to be a console warrior or anything like that. I'm just talking as a gamer, right? It's like or put it this way, if I bought my car right now and I wanted to use some of the features of my car that they sold me on, that's the reason I said I'm going to finance this car, to tell me that I have to pay them a la carte. I was like, no, man, you told me this car can do this, and now you're telling me that I have to pay you extra because I want, airbags to save my life.
That's exactly what it is.
And what I find crazy is it's defending something that you shouldn't as a consumer, and someone that worked, in retail all my life. I've had people come up to me and nobody has ever said, you know what, Mr. Joanna Dark, I want to pay you $100 extra for that machine. Nope. It was always like, hey, what can you sell me that I can get the bang for my buck and I'm not going to pay anything more? I've never heard anyone say, "Oh yeah, I wanted to go to Panos."
There's always that just one guy that wants to show off, and he's just buying everyone drinks. But you see that in the community, that just one guy that just wants to buy everything. You're just like, well, good for you, but like the average consumer, on the other hand, is a different
parents, people. We want to save money.
And another thing, you're telling me that these features are restricted to the next gen console. Is PlayStation honestly telling me that the features built into this controller cannot run on a PlayStation 4? It's in the controller. It does not require processing power for the features here to be used on a PlayStation 4. So to essentially hold that back and say, right, if someone can't get a hold of a PlayStation 5 but really wants to try out the new controller, Why can't they go and just buy that, connect it to the PlayStation 4 and use it? You can't use it. It's
And that's
absolutely
and that's
unusable.
and that's and that's money that they're leaving on the table because you have people
They're
that actually
throwing it
want to
away.
buy.
That's
Like,
70 straight away there that they can just woof. And then somebody, when they eventually get a PlayStation 5, they get a second controller. They've already got 2 controllers ready to rock and roll. Boom. Sorted. And people want to upgrade these little things in the meantime. Like, we can go back and use the old controllers on the new console, or vice
Yep.
versa, use the new controllers on the old consoles. We can do that, and it works fine. You can even use the features of the new controller, the share button on the old consoles. You can't use that at all outside of PlayStation 5. And even when you plug it into the PC and play the PC games that have DualSense features on the PlayStation 5, they don't work, or they don't work correctly. It's obscene. Like,
yeah, I mean, before I move to Sonic Cypher, the way I look at this, and kind of you made some good points, Dutch, is kind of what happened to the Vita. The Vita is a tale of two ideologies. It's stuck between what the PS3 was going to be and what they wanted to do with the handheld. And when I look at the PS4, it's kind of the way I want to look at it is it's a tale of two ideologies, right? Uh, we have Jim Ryan, who has always wanted to be kind of their Phil Spencer to kind of get more out there. But you had Sean Layden, who is loved by the community, but still was in the ways of saying, hey, this console is a lifestyle and you play all the games here, nowhere else. So in a sense, as we saw that kind of little by little with the PS4, that transition to new, leadership, maybe the PS5 in its development was stuck between that, and kind of like Phil Spencer with the Kinect, little by little, Jim Ryan is basically scooping up everything and saying, hey, let me get all my things together and let me get away all the stuff that kind of put this in this position at this moment. And
you can praise them both. I would say Jim Ryan's essentially laid not Jim Ryan. Sean Layden's essentially laid the foundation for the super high quality games that they pump out every year. The quality and the infrastructure that he's got behind the development teams that pump out these nigh on masterpieces pretty much every time that they release a game. Is no thanks to himself and his hard work and how he's cultivated those teams across the board in order to pump out such quality titles one after another consecutively. And like you say, then you've got Jim Ryan, who's looking at the more of the philosophical side of things, like Phil Spencer, and he's looking at the long play. He's not looking at the short term. Sean Layden was very much a short-term man. He was just the here and now. This is a console. These are great games. This is what we're gonna do. Just concentrate on the console and the great games. And Jim Ryan's like, nah. Console's great, amazing games, great, but we're not really getting any further. It's just stuck in the same place and getting the same people and doing and that's great if you want to just maintain. But they don't need to maintain as a business. They need to look at avenues to grow, and the only way you're going to grow is to offer, expand every service, whether that's the way that your accessories are usable, whether that's where it's playable, how it's playable, what the cost offerings are, and I think if what we're seeing by Spartacus is an indication of his current outlook on the business, then I think he needs to go back to the drawing board, because from a consumer perspective, there is no offerings in there that is going to make somebody want to add that to the ever-growing list of subscription services. And you've got to think now we're in a world where we're Netflix and we're Disney and your Discovery Plus and your Hulu's and your whatever's Paramount Plus is now obviously for Halo, which we're all going to be investing in, and then then you've got your Skies and the Virgin Media's over here, and you've got so many obviously your different cable services. Then you've got your subscription services for EA Play if you've just got that separately, or Ubisoft Plus, or Xbox Game Pass, or you name it. There's so many different subscription services that people already have.
Luna gives you now the free games you're getting as part of their catalog that you can play in the cloud, which you didn't before, and that's another one right there. So
So it's
But
just they have to do more in the current space to show that that subscription service is worth adding to a monthly outgoing for somebody, because it isn't now just I'm going to get a game and then several months later maybe to get another game. This is right, okay, this is what I'm adding to my personal lifestyle's monthly outgoings forever. Like essentially, like unlike the likes of Netflix and things like that, where unless a series is coming on that you really like, you don't mind dropping it. The likes of a game service is entirely different. Even I would say the likes of Amazon Prime in some circumstances. If you're a person that uses that a lot to order things in and it's very convenient for you to do that, Prime in itself has music, video, and delivery services all wrapped into one bundle. And of course, then when Luna comes around worldwide, no doubt they'll be offering a kind of bundle service that includes Luna within your Prime subscription. So
they're testing right now, as you can see.
yeah. So personally, I think maybe they need to refine that a little bit more. And I think even if this was like an internal, do you know, a bit like when Ryan Reynolds leaked Deadpool to get the crowd reaction and the support before
I think
Deadpool
I
was
know.
created.
That's what I was thinking. Yep.
I
Yeah.
hope this is PlayStation leaking or unintentionally
Yep,
leaking
that's what I
via
was
a
gonna say.
source
Yeah.
to get the feedback and the feelers of the community and right, okay, well, what if this is it? And the community's going, then they'll be like, okay, right, we'll go back. We'll just
Yeah.
right, what we're gonna do. I think
Give
that's
me Patapon. That's what I
yeah.
want. Day one. Patapon. Day one. I'll buy it.
I just think, like I say, for me, they need to ensure first of all, especially if it's a streaming service, or even if you're getting games on the platform, even if it's a year-old game or 6-month-old game, if you're getting a cross-generation game, if you have that service on your PlayStation 5, then you get the PlayStation 5 version. If you have that service on the PlayStation 4, then you play the PlayStation 4 version. That is one of the key things they need to do straight away. Secondly, I don't expect them to get PlayStation 5 games in their day and date, but I do expect them to build to that. So potentially maybe do first try one game, one of their major hits per year for the first maybe 2 years, and say, right, okay, well, how did that perform, both sales and as a subscription game? Like, did it affect the sales? Because Microsoft have noticed that their sales aspects are going up. So how is it affecting us? Are we still able to sell this $70 game whilst it's in a subscription service to the same degree? And if we are, then we're going to put them all in there. So it's going to be a taster. Basically, we'll try it on this one, which isn't the biggest title we've got. And then we'll try a big one and see how that does. I think that's the way they'll go.
Silent Cipher. I know you love cards, so you've been dying to play the Souls game of card games. If Spartacus offers you Gran Turismo 1 in all its glory, would you sign up day one with these prices?
No. Here's the thing. I think we all talked about like all these different services that are offered, right? As far as a video game service, I already have a video game service, and if I want to count the Switch as well, I've got that service as well for a lot of classic stuff that I could jump into. I think the last thing I need is, I mean, like I told you, I don't have the console anyways. So you're double selling me because then I've got to buy a console and a subscription as well. I'm okay. I think I'm all right.
But what if you can
I'll
play it on a
wait.
computer? You know,
I think I'll wait until they come to computer. If it allows me to access them on the computer, sure, I'm sold. I'll grab it, 100%. Because there are definitely games that I have not played over the last generation that, I'll give a shot. Like I want to be able to give my 2 cents on them when we talk and stuff. But I'm not going to go out of my way. There's so many subscription services I already have.
so even if Mark
Like,
Cerny announces knack 3, you wouldn't do it.
if Cerny If
Hey.
Cerny wants us another knack, I'll pay him money and I won't subscribe. I Knack was cool. I'll give him credit for what they were trying to go for. It was cool. It wasn't for me personally. Like my kids enjoyed it. Me, not so much. It just there are games for everyone. That one wasn't for me.
So, Dutch made some good points, about day and date coming slowly. Do you think that maybe that that rethinking starts with how successful Starfield does for Xbox, and then going into 2023, seeing some of those other titles that might drop? Do you think that maybe changes their mind where they see, okay, Starfield gave Xbox such a bump in subscriptions, then whatever next game they have for 2023, do you think that's when they maybe rethink this whole day and date, or you think sooner?
I think it would make a lot of sense. Honestly, like we go back to the whole situation of competition is key for this whole situation, right? If Starfield just kills it, then that puts it on Sony's radar that okay, we need to react. We need to have some sort of solution for this situation. So yeah, I think that would make a lot of sense. As far as if it would happen beforehand, I don't know if it's going to happen beforehand because things are a little bit quiet for for the first 5-6 months of the year. I think that would be the first time that we saw them interact and react to it, right? I think we'd see them in a reactive state after that. Starfield comes out and it just completely destroys. We'll see a response from Sony. They've been really quiet recently, but I wouldn't be surprised if this one brought them out really loud.
Ooh, crazy.
Yeah,
Would this make you, subscribe? What if they said, "Hey, I'm gonna bring SOCOM back, and you can kind of play like PUBG in your undies"? Would you subscribe?
Nah, for Suncom, nah. I'll subscribe for something else though.
Dude, if they
But
brought
The
back
next Chrono Trigger.
SOCOM,
The next Chrono Trigger.
the next
no,
Chrono Trigger, nah.
no.
No, I just rather buy it because it's gonna be less. But again, it all depends on what they offer though. At the end of the day, we gotta wait till more information comes out. Let's see what they offer. Like for example, you pay the $16 tier, right? Because there's like a $10, then $13 and $16 tier. You pay the $16 tier and be like, and they say, hey, we're gonna give you, let's say, $10 discount on our new games when they come out. You're like, hey, sure, this is pretty cool. You can grab it because of that. Just saying it can, or $20 discount. I don't know, but let's see what we have to wait to see what else they can show. And another thing on the question you asked Ryan before, I have a theory. I think it's not gonna happen with Starfield though. I think this is my theory about what Jim Bryan is gonna do because this is how I would do it. If it was me, I would do it this way. Right now, I will throw out Spartacus. Let's see how it performs, nice and easy. Let's go like this. When Microsoft starts rolling out with all their games, right? Because they got a big catalog of games coming. How many games are there? Like 50, 60 games? I don't remember how many games Microsoft has lined up, but they got a bunch of games lined up right now. So when Microsoft starts throwing out that catalog and those things just start jumping day one into that Game Pass, then right there, I think Jim Ryan is going to start in that spot to put his games, PlayStation 5 games, right there on Spartacus. I think that's going to trigger for him to do that. Right now, they're going to try to get people to subscribe and get into it, and they're going to try to offer a couple things. Like, for example, what Dutch
But
was saying.
crazy. Let me ask you this:
All right, that's cool.
Do you think in its current state, right,
Yeah.
with this leak, if it's real,
Mhm.
do you think Jim Ryan wants to have another PS Now situation where, one of the things that they've been trying to do is they've been trying to wash away kind of the bad taste that PS Now has been, and overall the
Yeah, 'cause
services.
the problem they've got with I was going to say the problem they've got with PS Now, they're refusing to fix anyway, and that
Yeah.
it's low streaming quality, 720p, like on a
Oh
on a
yeah,
big
yeah.
screen is
Yeah.
horrific. Like,
Well, no, they updated to
wow.
1080p.
Ooh,
Yeah, they did
fancy
1080p.
on a big
Um,
4K screen. Not
yeah,
so
no,
much.
it's just like you'd be like, is that the? They'll be like, is that the Switch?
Yeah.
But But let me tell you something though. I don't know if that's gonna happen though, because we have to wait till this comes out, and he really needs to sit down and analyze. Not only that, he needs to make it that everybody can reach it, because that's the thing though. PS Now is only available to a couple countries, but he needs to make it that it can be reached around the world, so people can log into it, play it, and enjoy it. That's the only way this can work. And also what they offer for people to subscribe on them. What are you gonna give me? Are you gonna give me third party games they want like Xbox is doing? Are you gonna give me this? Are you gonna give me that? Are you gonna give me a whole lot of good classics from back in the day? You know, what are you gonna give me for me to come over here and subscribe to your Project Spartacus? What are you gonna offer? So yeah, and like I was saying, if I was Jim Ryan, I would have done it like that. I would have tried to make it juicy so people can jump on it. And then when Microsoft starts with this lineup, you know, wait for that lineup to come out. I will start putting my games day one right there. I will wait
Crazy,
for that lineup. What's up?
crazy. Just regarding what you said, I
Yeah,
I don't I don't think they're going to put themselves in a situation where they're going to be reactive. I think they're going to be
yeah,
proactive with it, right? Like they know that Starfield is probably going to blow up going into it, right?
yeah.
I I don't I don't think they're going to wait until that hits before they start to react, right? Like I think that'd be a fool's endeavor if they waited until that hit to decide, okay, this is when we're gonna draw the line in the sand, right? Uh, if they're not planning things ahead of time, that would be a really foolish decision. And with how big a company that is, it really surprised me if they were going to be reactive instead of proactive.
Okay.
I bet you they have a lot of coals in, or a lot of pokers in the fire right now.
No, because let me this because listen, they're doing a waiting game lately. That's what I'm seeing. That's what they're doing. For example, look at the PC games, right? They have not said when are they gonna put PC games they won, and they are planning to do it, but they have not said it yet. You know, and so
Nick
what?
is working really hard. That's
Yeah,
what
what?
Nix is working really hard to get that.
I know, and they are gonna do it along the way. So that's what I'm saying. They're doing a waiting game. That's what I'm seeing. What Sony's trying to do, like as a strategy, as my point of view. Though I'm saying my point of view. I
No,
think they're
I
doing.
think I think you're right there, Louis. I
Yeah,
think the specifically on the
yeah,
PC side of things, they
yeah,
were seeing how Microsoft fared first, and they wanted to see
yeah,
right, okay, well, how good are their games doing? And when they
yeah,
see the likes of Sea of Thieves top of the charts for God knows how long in Steam sales, and then you're seeing Halo smashing it straight away,
yep,
top of the sales charts. And
yep,
then you're seeing all of these other games and Gears Collection and Halo Master Chief Collection being up there for months on end. And they're
yeah.
just like, yeah, it's time. It is
It's
time to
time.
start getting on there. And all
Yeah.
of the fact that all the developers were getting on their case and saying, "Listen, we need to get our games on PC."
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, look, I'll give an example. 2019, Horizon. What's it called? Zero Dawn.
Horizon Zero Dawn.
It was in 10 million sales. 2019. Right now, 2022, 20 million sales since they put it on PC.
Yeah, I mean, think about it, right?
Yeah.
When they sold Horizon,
Yeah.
they sold it at 60. Then
16.
it literally goes down to like $4 then the PS Plus. Where's the money, right? Now
Yeah.
you bring it on PC, you're charging that's $50 that you now are getting from the PC install base
Mm-hmm.
versus you were getting $1 when the game was like on a deep sale at that
Mm-hmm.
point. So
Mm-hmm.
it's yeah, it's crazy that Jim Ryan's looking at that money and is like, there's no way we don't go in there and do the same thing, especially with the established IPs that they have.
Yes. So I'm gonna be honest with you. They're being successful. Before they were, like I said, Horizon stopped at 10 million sales. 10 million. Horizon Zero Dawn stopped at 10 million sales. They
Look at
put it
Days
on.
Gone.
Yeah, Days Gone's another example. But like I said, 10 million sales in 2019. All of a sudden, you look at these numbers. I mean, that's 5 million per year. They sold 5 million copies per year, and basically since 2019 to 2022, that's 5 million copies per year. Now they sold 20 million for putting that game on PC. So yeah, that's extra money for them. So I gotta be honest with you, if they do that launch, because they're getting a lot of feedback from it, and which is pretty good. Because if not, it would have been, if they did not put Horizon Zero Dawn on PC, it would have stayed in 10 million sales. It would have gone up probably like 11 to 12. It would have taken its time. So if they analyze that, say, hey, let's do this, let's throw this day one in here, and it's a good game, people are gonna spend the money and buy it.
Yeah, they're
You're gonna
gonna
buy
double
it.
dip. I double dipped on Horizon. I've got it on PC because I wanted to see it in all of its glory.
Yeah.
I wanted to see it the best it could possibly be, and I'll
Yeah.
I'll play it on the thing is you've got two mindsets as well. In PC players are the same because PC players, a lot of them have consoles as well. You've got your I'm chilling out in front of the TV mindset, which is just laying back playing the game, and then you've got right, okay, I'm in front of the computer and I'm
Yep.
tweaking
Like
all the
this.
settings and making sure
Yeah.
it's on ultra everything and like really high frame rates. Let's see
Yeah.
what this looks like at
It's
its
like
best.
That's me. That's me.
And that's a PC player, and PC players double dip. They do it all the time. They're like, I want to play it on console because I want to have my chilled out days, but I also want to play it on PC because I want to see it in its absolute best.
I'm the worst at double dipping. I mean,
Yeah.
I have the Death Stranding, the whole special edition, and I purchased it on PC, and now I'm gonna upgrade to the director's cut that I want to play on PC. Days Gone,
By the way.
PC. I'm sorry.
When does the director's cut come out?
March 30th, and it's a $10 upgrade if you own the game. The way to do it, Dutch, is have the game installed. The game through the menu will allow you to upgrade.
Oh, sweet.
Yeah, so yeah, I double dip because you know what? Horizon, I never beat it on the console, and I own it. But when I bought it on the PC, I waited. It got its updates, and I was like, wow. Days Gone is a brand new game when it comes to on the PC. God of War, it's there because what I'm planning to do is I'm playing all the God of Wars in kind of the Avengers order of how the
Yeah.
story happened. And I want to dive as Ragnarok comes in, I want to literally be going straight into Ragnarok so I can get the whole kind of experience.
Yeah. I think this year, as a round off for me, this generation's going to end up being a battle of the services, a battle of the subscription services, and more so on the fact that I think both companies will settle for the fact that they're going to stop doing these third-party timed exclusivity agreements. And instead of getting these exclusivity agreements, it's going to be who's going to get it on their service. So everyone still gets it. Everyone still gets it day one, but who's going to get it free in a service? Who's going to get it as part of their service day one? And that's going to be the battle for this generation. I think going forward, instead of the next Final Fantasy iteration, unless they buy Square, of course, which is very much a possibility this gen, I think. Unless they do that, I think the next iterations of Final Fantasy, that's what you'll see. You'll see PlayStation going, let them have it, but we've got it on our service day one. Like we've paid that exclusivity money to have it on Spartacus day one, so that our players can play it at no additional cost.
Yeah. I mean that's the magic of Game Pass, and that's you can say Sony has seen where it doesn't cost me a thing, right? I'm like, people are like, oh, this whole thing about COD. All that matters is if you play on the Xbox platform, you will get it on your service, and then the people that want to play it will pay because they love the game and they're playing it on their box, right? And at the end of the day, guess what? Everyone wins, right? Company make money, funds more games, and we win as consumers because we get the games and we'll get the perks. And at the end of the day, it's going to be about our attention, right? With so many streaming services everywhere, there's not enough time for our attention. So it's going to be about who's giving me the content to keep my attention here, right? Many times what happens, right? I forgot who said this, but I think it was, Assassin Lupa. She said, hey, you know what? Currently, I'm just going to sign up. If it comes day and date, I'm just going to sign up for Spartacus just to play a game when it comes out. Then I'll unsubscribe. Yeah. Sony doesn't want that. Microsoft doesn't want that. They want to continue to give you that content, like Phil keeps saying, so that you're like, man, I'm not leaving. Forget, forget Stadia. We did forget Stadia, sorry. Yeah. And all these other things, and keep our attention, and that's what it's going to be. And it's going to be a battle like crazy, and it's going to be about content.
That's what Xbox has been doing as well. It's like it's not even just the first parties at this one, because now they're dropping in these sneaky third party releases that you don't see coming. Like no one foresaw MLB jumping in there, let alone having both of them back to back going into Game Pass day one. MLB 21 and MLB 22, both there day one. No one foresaw that happening. You've got, again, people going, right, okay, well, I'm buying Guardians of the Galaxy. Everyone buys Guardians of the Galaxy. A couple of months later, boom, it's on Game Pass. You're like, damn it.
Yeah.
But it is such a great thing. And again, the likes of Outright, well, I'm not going to talk about Square Enix's it's not performing mentality, because they have performed.
It's their budgets, whoever makes their budgets are like either have some unrealistic expectations.
I don't think
Yep.
it's got anything to do with sales. I think they've got really some begrudging thing against the Western studios, personally, and I very much expect them to ship them Western studios out. Um,
Before they get acquired by Sony, right?
yeah, yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Crystal Dynamics and all of those, they're definitely getting shipped out. I would not, wouldn't be surprised to see Crystal Dynamics at Xbox. To be honest, they're working with on Perfect Dark anyway. Makes sense.
Imagine
It's
Eidos
grooming
Montreal with the help of Arcane making the next Deus Ex. It would
Yes.
be mind blowing. I need Deus Ex back. Sony did Mankind Divided dirty at the end with those microtransactions. So I would love to see that talent to be able to be creatively, not do what they want and create these amazing worlds that they've given us with
I
not
guess
the straight up thing.
Both
Yeah.
both Adios and Crystal Dynamics have got nothing to prove. You've seen the capabilities with the previous Tomb Raider trilogy. Like, that thing was beautiful. It played so well. It was such a great game, from top to bottom. So the way that Square are going against them, it's just some weird vendetta they've got against the Western studios, I think, personally. But back to it though, yeah, 100% it's going to be Battle of Subservice this gen. Sorry, it's going to be who gets that game in their service first, and that's going to be the exclusivity. That's going to be the modern exclusivity now. It's not taking games from other gamers. It's who's going to get this as part of their service, and that's going to be
Whoever-
great for everybody because that's going to get people going. I need the Xbox service because they're going to get Starfield day one. Oh, I need this because they're probably going to get Final Fantasy day one. Like, and then people are just going to sub up for that. They're not even going to end up getting the services for first parties. They'll get it because they're going to be excited to see which third party drops are going to jump in, like that they don't expect. And I like the way that Xbox have done it in a sense that they don't tell you they just don't give you a build up as to when it's going to release or what they're going to get for the year in terms of third parties. They're just like shadow drop an announcement. They're just like, oh, by the way, MLB's coming to Game Pass, enjoy. Or by the way, Back 4 Blood's coming to Game Pass, enjoy. By the way, like Jesus, I
That's
just
why
hope, yeah, I hope it
Yeah.
continues like that, and I want Spartacus to do the same. Of course, whilst slowly, because Xbox at the same time they didn't, when Game Pass first started, they weren't putting their first parties in date and date straight away. They built up to it to the point where they're saying, right, okay, the service has now got a big enough player base that we can go in and do this. And I think PlayStation will do the same. They'll say, right, let's get the sub count up to like 5-10 million. Once we've got to that level, then we'll do day and date. Up until that, they'll entice people with things here and there.
So,
Cool.
like anything, we're preparing to land. So, Crazy
Yes.
Lou, please take us away.
Let's go, guys. Thank you for coming by on the show. Thank you for holding up. Oh my God, we're almost at the 3-hour mark again. Been a long, awesome show. Wow, pretty cool. And Dutch, thank you for coming on our show too. Thank you for dropping by with us. Really, we gotta have you on. We gotta program that and get you on Wednesday here. What do you think? That'd be pretty good if you hop on one day and just hang out with us for 2 hours. What do you think, though, Dutch?
Yeah, I'm
Alright.
game for that.
That'll be awesome. That'll be awesome. So hey, let's start with the outro. So Dutch, let's start with our awesome guest, Dutch. Where can we find you, brother?
Oh, so you can find me, of course, on Twitter at Wandering Dutch and at YouTube at Wandering Dutch. Of course, the home of the Midweek Mix-Up podcast there every Wednesday, 7 p.m. GMT, 2 p.m. EST, and 11 a.m. PST. So, yeah, absolutely awesome to jump on. I've seen you guys. I was wide awake because I am very much insomnia-driven. So I thought, yeah, I'm going to jump on. Let's jump into this, the madhouse that is XBI. No, I love you guys. I love what you're doing. Awesome work so far. Really enjoy hearing your thoughts across the board. And very much like we operate, we tease. I know Sour gets a lot of teasing for his love of Sea of Thieves, but we do exactly the same. Vin is our torture master. He gets it in the neck all the time. So
He wasn't here
no.
tonight.
It's 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 the same across the board. Awesome group of guys. Pleasure to be on, and again, I'd love to hang out again another time.
Thank you, Dutch, for coming. Really, thank you. Really appreciate it. Sour Blow, my brother, where can we find you?
Luca.
La Peluca.
What? Anyway, yeah, you can find me at Sour Blow Gaming. That's our Spanish speaking channel, where every Tuesday we have a Spanish speaking podcast. We're trying to build the Spanish community there. It's called Gaming Lobby. Crazy Lou is there with me. And I started also a secondary channel just for gameplay called Sour Blow 18. And you can also find me on Twitter, SourBlow18, and also my Xbox user is SourBlow18. And that's
all right.
Well, before I hand it off, thank you, Dutch, for being on the show. I really appreciate it, and it's nice having someone that actually has a good taste, unlike the rest of the panel, that actually loves the real game.
Oh.
Sarblo, you really want to go there?
Mm.
Sarblo, I think Sarblo loves the abuse. That's what it is.
Yeah, I think it is too. Though. So, my brother Silent Cypher, where can we find you?
So you can find me on Twitter, Xbox Live, YouTube, all Silent Cypher. I'm always hanging around in the different shows, in Dutch's channels, in Chatter Days, over at Mav's place. I'm all over the place. I try and make myself present as much as possible, depending on what the work days will allow. But no, seriously, Dutch, it was a treat to have you on tonight. Thank you so much for coming. It was
Anytime,
great.
brother. Anytime.
It was
Awesome.
great to see you. And honestly, I had that shock when I saw that you were jumping in. I was like, oh my God, we got Dutch. That's awesome. So I'm really happy to be hanging out here with you. It's been great.
Great. No problem, brother. Pleasure.
How about you, Mr. Joanna Dog? Where can we find you?
Well, I'm not a lurker like Silent Cypher. I'm more of a raccoon. You'll see me in all different channels, just kind of hanging out there. I like, meeting new people in the communities and just kind of just interacting. That's just me as well. But yeah, you can find me on Twitter, big_n_boss. You'll see me there always just posting stuff. My current journey into the lands between, of course, with Elden Ring. And then, of course, on Tuesdays, I'm with 10K Boom, along with Boxenberger, Mav, Pong Soul on the Xbox Factor podcast. And then on Wednesdays, of course, here on XBI with you amazing gentlemen. I can never give up, torturing Sourblue about his fake games that he plays. And then Thursdays, tomorrow, I sit down with my coworkers and good friends, Albert and Jasmine, on the Nickel Gaming Show. Tomorrow, we are going to settle this whole fight between Final Fantasy and who is the GOAT. Aerith, Tifa versus Yuna and her squad, or Lightning, which nobody remembers. So, we'll record that tomorrow. But Dutch, thank you so much. It's a pleasure and an honor to have you on here. It was an honor podcasting with you when I first saw him with Boom, and it's great to have you on the show here and just kind of sit down and you give us some great insight and kind of just your perspective on some of the things. So thank you, and hopefully we can sit down and make it all about you and kind of give us your origin story so we can learn more about you and everything.
Yes.
So thank you.
Do a pat down on the Dutch. We got to pat him down.
Hey, you're about to get a timeout, and
What?
I'm gonna call the marshal. I'm about to get the marshal.
You can't time me out because it's my time for the outro. So, guys, again, Dutch, thank you for coming on our show. Really appreciate it. Chat, you guys rock. You guys are awesome. Thank you for hanging out with us. Really, chat. Love you all to death. Thank you for hanging out with us. Seriously, you guys rock and kept the chat going. Awesome, you guys rock. And yes, where can you find the crazy one? Easy. You can find him on Twitter, where he dances. What else do I do? I dance. I take showers, sing, model. I get copyright. I got a copy. So that means I'm famous. If I get copyright straight, I'm famous. Yes, I made it. Yes. So yes, you can find me on Twitter at Crazy Louis Gaming. You can find me, like Sourblue says, on Tuesdays on Sourblue Gaming, 7 p.m. EST. It's a Spanish channel, so yeah, guys, if you're from the Spanish community, come join us, and let's have fun over there. And also, as always, Wednesdays at 7 p.m. EST here on Xbox International, Crazy Louis Gaming YouTube channel. So, guys,
Whoa, what are we doing this Friday?
wait, I was gonna announce that. Yeah, wait. I was gonna say that. So, guys, also. Xbox International has a Twitch going on with Xbox_International. So guys, go on Twitch, so follow us over there. Also, I do on my side part, I do Crazy Louis Game on Twitch too. And yes, I'm gonna keep on sending people to over here because last Friday we had fun. I got stuck on a bucket, which we called it the poop. I called it the poop bucket. I got stuck on a really bad bucket playing what's it called? State of Decay 2. You guys gotta watch that video. It was real funny.
Literally destroyed all our cars.
Yes, he did.
That's not true.
Yes, he did.
That's
yes, you
not
did.
true.
You destroyed all our cars, man. Seriously, you destroyed all our cars.
Oh my god.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. So yeah, guys.
I got proof.
Selbo.
I got proof. You can watch the highlights, or you can.
You
watch
can't
the
even
full
show me
video.
proof. Here's Sourblue. You can't even show me proof of playing Star Citizen, and you're gonna show me proof that you were not driving. Come on, man, get out of here.
So yeah, guys, and always, I'm gonna tell you all something. Always be positive on the community, guys. Ignore all the negative stuff. Always be positive and show a lot of love and get people to play games instead of going on hate for it, guys. Seriously, always show love. And as I always say, let's go, let's rock, and let's get crazy. Yes. See y'all next week, guys. Bye-bye.
Crazy. You got to do the whole outro again because you were in timeout.
Oh no.
Just kidding. Goodbye, everyone.
Thank you for listening to the XBI Podcast. Please make sure to like and subscribe on the way out. We'll see you next time.